Dude, I forgot I left that up there. Oh man, I forgot I left that up there. Oh man, it's crazy, yo. Give me a second. Let me post the link for the people on Twitter. Post the link for the people on Twitter. Late night talks. So yeah, man, I caught the soundbite of Chris Eubank Sr. calling in the Tunde Ayahi. I caught the soundbite of Chris Eubank Sr. calling into the Tunde Ayahi and Spencer Fearon show. And he was angry. He was talking about, they tried to harm his son basically. And, he was talking about the weight, at least the portion of the soundbite that I heard. He was Ivo was good. Bobby Light, Karma, XMB, Alfredo, Country. I forgot I left that up, yo. That is Canelo Hearn. That's Canelo Hearn. That is Eduardo Alvarez. Yo, B, that really looked like Eddie Hernandez. That's Eddie Hernandez. Yeah, Senior was, Senior was mad. Senior was really mad. But I'm like, the other angle of this for me, because I was going to do a segment on it, but I'm like, you know what? There's not really enough there that I need to do a segment. JBN, tell me they don't look like Eddie Hearn and Canelo at the same time. If Eddie Hearn and Canelo had a baby, it would be this dude. Eduardo Hernandez. Oh shit, yo! I seen this and I started At first, I thought it was Christian Bale. And I was like, yo, now I look at it, it looked like Eddie Hearn mixed with Canelo. Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Hearn. But yeah, Senior was really angry. And I'm like, what are you really angry about though? Your son signed up for this, because he was talking about the weight. And he keeps mentioning the weight, which is weird to me, because I'm like, bro, you not mad at the PEDs? You mad about the weight? Is that what you mad about? And I got you. Like, he keep talking about that they tried to bring Chris down past he keep trying to talk about how they tried to bring Chris below 160, but it's like, fam, the reason they trying to bring your son down below 160 is because he's trying to fight a damn welterweight. It ain't for no reason. You know what I mean? Maybe if your son was not trying to fight a welterweight, it wouldn't be no catch weight. And ultimately, he agreed to that. Whatever it is, good or bad, whatever it was, whether he would have been depleted or not depleted, he's a grown man that signed up for that. Nobody told him to be fighting no welterweights when you got Yanni Beck, who has a title. Before Yanni Beck, it was Demetrius Andrade. So for me, I still don't pity Chris Eubank Jr. in the sense that this entire situation and all its grotesqueries, none of this happens if you don't try to fight a welterweight. None of it. That if your daddy's so worried about you fighting at 157, okay, then don't fight a welterweight. So it won't be no catchweight. Don't fight a welterweight. You know what I mean? Your son was doing what he was doing for the bread. And your son is not a child neither. Like, he's not a child. He ain't a 20-something. That man is in his early 30s. So, really, why are you trying to fight a welterweight anyway? We all know why. For the bread. I wonder if it was Theatrics. I'm going to play y'all the audio. So y'all can hear. I don't know if he being, like, overly dramatic. I don't know if because Chris Eubank Sr. has a thing for theatricality, But I'm going to play y'all the audio, and y'all tell me what y'all think.
Fighters, toddlers, these guys they call managers and promoters. These guys, I'm coming for you. Yeah, you tried to murder my boys. I'm coming for you. Yeah. Right, sorry. I got a little bit carried away.
Don't worry about that. Thank you so much. As you're speaking right, Chris, as you're speaking right now, Tundi's wiping tears from his eyes.
Another man's son. I know what weight. I know what 3 pounds pays 160 when you're 33 years old. When you're 33 years old, to get down to 3 pounds beneath that middleweight limit, it's madness. But he won't listen. But you have toddlers looking after us. Fighters, toddlers. These guys they call managers and promoters. These guys, I'm coming for you. Yeah, you tried to murder my boys. I'm coming for you. Yeah. Right, sorry. I got a little bit carried away.
Don't worry about that. Thank you so much. As you're speaking right, Chris, as you're speaking right now, Tundi's wiping tears from his eyes.
Another man's son. I know what weight. I know what 3 pounds pays 160 when you're 33 years old. When you're 33 years old, to get down to 3 pounds beneath that middleweight limit, it's madness. But he won't listen. But you have toddlers looking after.
So y'all heard that. Y'all heard Chris Eubank Sr. And, you know, I don't know if it's theatricality. He's trying to make his son out to be the victim is what I hear. And I'm like, bro, your son don't got to cut nothing if he fight a goddamn middleweight. But your son wanted to fight a welterweight, bro. Regardless of all that other stuff, we don't get here if your son ain't out here trying to fight welterweights. I didn't hear Nigel Benn trying to get my boy. They're trying to murder my boy. When he signed up to fight a middleweight. And this is the other thing, too. This era is funny because it's 155 to 160. Anything in between that is middleweight. 155, a pound over 154. Really, anything over 154 is middleweight. Anything. So if you want to come in 55, you can come in 55 if you could do it, if that's better for you. But anything between that, 55 to 60, that's middleweight. Now, he acting like they tried to bring his son down to 50. I'm like, fam, one, it ain't no they. Your son signed up for this, for the bag. Your son signed. Ain't no they. They ain't put a gun to his head. They ain't tell him, yo, you got to fight Conor Ben, and it got to be at a cat. They ain't tell him, your son wanted to do that for the bag because he felt it's more in it for him fighting a welterweight than fighting Andre, than fighting Yanni Beck. So please put the violins away. Shout out to Will that says, I'm confused. Why the guy who fought Joe Calzaghe on short notice would be upset by the weight? I'm just asking, bro. I don't know. That's why I'm wondering, is it theatrics or is he genuinely upset over a catch weight that his own son accepted? Because your son accepted that, bro. Nobody told him to do that. He wanted to do that. He was at Sky. He was at Sky in Boxer. You didn't have to go to Matchroom. You didn't have to fight Conor Ben. You didn't have to sign up for none of that. Appreciate that drumming life. Appreciate you, man. He sound very dramatic. He's very angry. And I'm like, bro, what you mad about? The fight got called off. And if your son was going to fight at 157, it's because he wanted to fight at 157. What y'all trying to do? Y'all trying to get some lawsuit money? Theatricality and deception are powerful weapons to the initiated. But we are initiated, karma.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man.
You know what I mean? I think that's theatricality personally. I think that he's trying to like mount the case because you can't put nothing past nobody. I don't really think he has a case, to be completely honest with you, because you signed up for what you signed up for, didn't you? They didn't surprise you with a catch weight. You knew there was going to be a catch weight. And you don't really want to go into this thing about these PEDs because then it's going to come out that Chris knew. You knew. You didn't care. You said you said on camera you was willing to. You said it. You know what I mean?
Theatricality and deception are powerful weapons to the initiated. But we are initiated, aren't we, Karma?
You know what I'm saying? The shit, all this shit, because he want to take a little bit of PEDs. Stop it. Stop it, Chris. Stop it. Stop it. You know what I mean? Now, yesterday, Sebastian Fundora was fighting. My coffee's brewing. I can smell it. Yesterday, Sebastian Fundora was fighting. And I liked the fight. It was a good fight. I was entertained by the fight. I already did my weekend recap on it, so I don't have a lot to add to the fight. I don't have a lot to add to it. I'm going to get other people's opinions of what they said. Of what y'all thought about how he looked. Did y'all like how he looked? You know, did you like how he looked with Ocampo? What did you make of the performance? Yada, yada, yada. I don't know that he's actually going to get Jermel Charlo, to be real with y'all. I don't know that he's going to get him. Because you got to think about it. When Jermel come back, he going to fight Zoo. And is he going to have 2 fights next year? Is that what he going to do? He going to have 2 fights? I wish. I like those fights. I like the Tim Zoo fight, even though I don't think Tim Zoo going to win that one. I think it's too soon for that fight. And, you know, Fundora, if he could do Fundora in the same year, why not? You know what I mean? We going to see, man. We going to see. I'm about to post the link in the joint. I really don't want to be on too long tonight, so I'm going to cut it off like at 11. I don't want to be on too long tonight because I'm low-key sleepy, but I was like, why not? Just do a quick live real fast. You know what I mean? Didn't I just post the link? I thought I posted. Yeah, I did. Let me post it. Copied. He's going to get starched real soon. I mean, some people feel that way, and I understand why. It's because he gives up his height in the pocket. He doesn't really use his height. But if you paid attention yesterday, he was trying to manage the distance, long distance. He was trying to jab more, stay on the outside a little more. The first 3 rounds, he was boxing. The first 3 rounds. So I'm going to start off with Ivo.
What's good, Jules? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. What did you think about Sebastian Fundora yesterday?
I don't know if Ocampo's just that tough or if Fundora doesn't hit that hard, but man, I'm surprised it went to 12, if I'm being honest with you. That was not what I predicted, and I'm happy I didn't bet on that fight.
You think he should have knocked him out? Do you think it's a indictment on him that he didn't knock him out?
Spence fucked him up in 1 round. It took you 12.
That's true.
How the fuck did it take you 12? I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me go to Country. Country, do you think it's an indictment on Sebastian Fundora that he didn't knock this dude out?
Yeah, completely. It's a tell-all as to what skill level he's at, and he better not go near Charlo. To be honest, I'd rather see him fight Zoo. I think because they're both.
I like that fight. That's a good fight
for each other. But if he tries to go up with Charlo, some of the more upper elites, he's gonna that tree's gonna get chopped down. Period.
That's a fair assessment. Let me go to JBN because JBN don't usually be on. JBN, do you think it's an indictment on Sebastian Fundora that he didn't knock out Ocampo?
I think so. How long was Ocampo? Had he fought recently? Or
he's been fighting. He has been fighting. That's why I wasn't hard on him, because he has been fighting, and it has been at junior middle.
Okay. And how long has when was the last time that Fundora fought?
The Lubin fight, bro.
That was how long was that ago?
That was wasn't the Lubin fight this year?
I think it was.
Yeah,
it
so
was.
I
In the
think it
beginning.
is. It did look bad on him that he couldn't stop him, man, because
Hey, but-
I feel like he could have.
A thing I want to bring up to you guys: what was up with that ref, dude? I mean, he was like totally like.
Yo, Jack Reese trying to win an Oscar, bro.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, like he accused Ocampo's corner of purposely spilling water when the ice bag broke and shit, man. And
The fix
it
was in.
like, well, I can't take a point, but I want you to find them. It's like, man, dude, ref the fucking fight. You know?
I think he wants camera time, bro. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what was the point of that?
Nothing.
He's an
That's what
actor,
I'm
bro.
saying.
He's an actor. He likes acting.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt. Like he just wanted to hear his voice.
And he kept looking. He kept watching Ocampo big time, like he wanted to get him out of there or find a reason to. That was a problem in my opinion. It was like, man, dude needs to calm down and just ref the fight and let them fight.
It's him. I'm gonna tell you, it's him and this other Spanish ref that looked like he could be Puerto Rican. They get on my fucking nerves, bro. Both of
Yo, I
them.
got a
My
question.
fucking nerves. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yo, why is Christian Fail still on the screen?
Why is he on
Am
the
I-
screen?
Bro, he looks like
Is
a
it-
discount
is it-
007. He looks like
That's
007.
Is it
Eddie's
only
soft
me?
little brother,
Ray,
man.
My
what's the
man,
question?
yo,
Is it
this
only
dude's
me?
hair.
Yo, he said Christian fail though.
Why his hairline look like he got bit by a dog?
So,
The
is it
fuck?
only me, or does
You
this look like Julius a little bit with the beard?
Get the fuck out of here, bro. In what fucking way does he look like me?
He looks like Bruce. He looks like Bruce Payne.
What he gotta look like me for?
Honestly, Jules, you know, I think that's your British side talking.
I'm gonna be honest. That was me.
Hermano IQ.
That was me in high school.
That
That's
was
my
one of
yearbook picture.
That was one of your transformations, man. For your alien powers.
That's my yearbook picture, bro. I used to go to Watford. I used to go to Watford High. With Dillian.
Julius had
I
the
used to go to
shape
Watford
shift,
High
man.
School, bro. With AJ and them. When he was selling coke, I used to go to school with them, bro. You selling a lot of coke, bro. There's real shit out there. But let me go to Leo. Leo, do you think it looks bad on Sebastian that he didn't stop Ocampo? I agree.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
It makes too much
Me
sense
too.
almost.
Man, Leo left me
Even in
speechless.
Britain, that made sense.
You know, when he makes good points like that, you just can't argue.
I mean, you can't argue with results.
That's true.
Even Bruce Wayne agreed.
Can't argue with that.
Hey, Leo, you there?
Se durmió,
Batman
no
got
se
to-
durmió.
not
Yeah, he's just spitting facts,
Christian
man.
Fail got to him, bro. He heard we was laughing at him and he went after Leo first.
Yeah, the Capmobile showed up. What can you do?
We're next, man. We're next.
Let me go to, hey, stop bullshit. Let me go to Villain. Villain, do you think it looks bad on Fundora that he couldn't stop Ocampo?
No, I mean he's got. Well, first of all, thanks Al Haymon. I have to respect Al
I
Haymon.
forgot. I literally
Sorry.
forgot. Everybody
Sorry about
thank
that.
Al Haymon.
I would like to thank Al Haymon for the new day.
Thank you,
Thank you, Al
And
Haymon.
we need to stop this, yeah. Fuck Al Haymon. He still hasn't paid me my back
no,
end
no,
But
money.
I'm
Al
gonna
Haymon.
kick you off this panel if you say
Bro.
anything bad about Al Haymon.
I don't know that guy,
He
Al
hasn't paid
Haymon.
me
We don't
my
know that
back-end
guy.
money yet.
So,
He needs
gotta
to pay
thank
me
Al
my
Haymon.
back-end money. Fuck him.
he's our Lord and Savior, man.
I would like to thank Al Haymon for the beautiful sunrise that you allowed to rise. I would like to thank you for the new day.
Mr. Haymon.
I would like to thank you before God, before Jesus, before my parents for giving birth to me. Thank you.
Well, good Haymon upon you, Suab. All right, now let's stop bullshitting. Villain, is it an indictment against Fundoria that he couldn't stop Ocampo?
No, he's an accomplished fighter. We're not talking about a nobody here, not a ham and egger. He's a good fighter, so he couldn't put a good fighter out. Did it show that his defense looked somewhat lacking? Yes, he fought really well on the inside, but he was much more open. I think Ocampo fought really well too on the outside, but when he wanted to go inside and try to bang with him is when everything went south for him. But no, yeah, he got stopped by Spence, but let's be honest. We love, at least I do, love Terrence Crawford, but Spence is still an elite fighter. So having one loss to an elite fighter doesn't make you bad. It's not like he was dominated by the guy or he was embarrassed by him. I mean, he's still young. People forget maybe his 20th fight. He's a young kid. It's not a terrible It's not. He won the fight. It's not terrible that he didn't knock him out. I mean,
I'm with Villain. To be honest, I felt like the only reason he didn't stop him was because he chose that fight to experiment. Because he was experimenting in the first 3 rounds. Y'all know Fundora don't do that. He don't come out there jabbing and I'm a manager to this. He don't come out there doing that. As soon as it became a Fundora fight, that's as soon as it took him to win it. Because he was in control after that. In round 4, when he wanted to press him and squeeze him and lean on him. Oh, this is a Fundora fight. And he was winning that.
I will say that if he doesn't tighten up his defense, though, he's gonna get slapped.
Yeah,
he needs to tighten that defense up for sure. It looks pretty suspect in some areas because we're dealing. If he ends up fighting Charlo, which it sounds like is what he'll probably end up doing, I think he'll get folded if he doesn't work on the defense. Really,
not even Charlo. As soon as he moves up in weight, I feel like he'll get slapped. If he goes to middleweight or
there's nobody up there, JBN. Who's up there though? That would sleep him. You feel me? Like Kentai.
Yeah, right.
Middleweight
is dead again, bro. Middleweight is dead.
Just sucks.
What I'm saying, just people are getting too hard. It could be a day off, maybe, but he boxed well. I think he did well, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's just not every fight can be. You know what I mean? You're not going to win it all on 100%. You have to skim it sometimes, and I think that's your learning fights.
Wait.
So I think he's going to learn.
Can I ask you a question? So wait, so you're telling me one bad performance we don't shit on a fighter after one bad performance? That doesn't sound like boxing
crazy.
fans.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Boxing fans are too hard, but he's
I like what I saw because this is the difference between Sebastian. Let me say this. This is the difference between Sebastian and Jarrett Hurd. Jarrett Hurd didn't try to box until he already won a belt. Y'all remember when he came out against Jason Wellborn and he looked all fucking weird, trying to jab and shit? Looked all weird. That was
Shakur
after
Stevenson.
No, Shakur been that way. Like and Shakur
No,
don't even.
He had one day off. He had that one day off, and then everyone was.
No. What I'm saying is basically this: if Sebastian is gonna add different shit to his repertoire, now is the time to do it. So why would I complain? Yeah, you ain't won a belt yet. You're not a champion yet. It's champions that they don't do certain shit, and Ben done won a belt already. Don't even use a jab like Jarrett Hurd. You know what I mean? But if Sebastian wanted to take that fight to experiment, I'm okay with it. Like, yeah, you might as well do that shit now. It's not like you fighting Charlo. It's this Ocampo. Yeah, go ahead. Practice your shit. And then as soon as shit get crazy or you feel like it's getting away a little bit, get on his motherfucking ass. And that's what he did. I ain't mad at him. I'm not.
Dude, this kind of pressure will fuck people up. And they would take like fucked up ways like Conor Ben did. You know what I mean? Just to hype up their thing. Because they have so much pressure on them now. I believe Eddie Hearn has put a lot of pressure on Conor Ben to make him a star, a superstar, sell out the stadium. Bro, it takes time to make a star, bro. You don't just become it. AJ is a one-off. You're not going to have an AJ in the next 100 years, in my opinion.
Let me say this. I believe it's the management. If the management doesn't like a situation, right? The management and the fighter. Because remember, the promoter is looking out for the best interests of the platform. The manager is looking out for the best interests of the fighter, right?
Supposedly.
Well, usually,
Allegedly.
But if Conor didn't want to be in that situation, then he wouldn't have been in that situation. Like, I don't like what I'm seeing to where it's everyone else's or it's just Eddie's fault. Listen, bro, Conor was on board for that shit. Y'all acting like Eddie the one that got popped. Eddie ain't get popped. Conor got popped. Eddie ain't pushed Conor into the Eubank fight. You wanted to do that. You could have stayed there, bro. You could have told Eddie, get me Avanesian. You could have told him, get me Florian Marku. Because remember, Eubank was at Sky and Boxer. So is Florian Marku. You could have told Eddie, yo, let's do that. Florian Marku. He got let's do it. And make him cross over. If Chris could cross over, he could cross over.
Well, I mean, you make a fair point, but Jules, you got to remember, man. Like, I don't know if you saw what I posted it on your last video, just to like bring it up. I posted you a huge list of people and what they got popped for, and in that list, even Mayweather got through. Like, people really don't remember that he had 3 fucking A samples that tested positive for different things. So if we don't talk shit about them, I don't give a shit about Conor Ben. Or if I do talk shit about them, I got to talk shit about Conor Ben because you can't pick and choose.
I'm where you at, bro. I'm like, I don't really care about his tests. Why? Y'all don't care about Tyson Fury tests or James Toney tests or Roy Jones tests
or Shane Mosley's test
or Shane Mosley tests. All right.
I got
every day you have pundits talking up Tyson Fury, right? He tested positive for nandrolone. Y'all conveniently forgot. So if you care that fucking much about PEDs, won't you say something about that shit?
All right,
they go to the same whorehouse and
So I got a question for you. You know the British Boxing Board of Control, right? They have a Twitter, right? And do you know their Twitter handle, the last 3 letters, and how it's pronounced?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. So what does it say? It's just BBB of C, isn't it?
Oh God.
Yeah, and UK. How does it pronounce?
Yeah.
Oh, because see right there, that's what I think about them. Jules, you told me yesterday that
God damn it.
that they responded with action because of a Daily Mail article.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. I mean, boxing, okay, yeah, it's stuck in its old ways, right? But it's still succumbing to like this influence for the media that doesn't understand how the sport works. And I just think it's like, you know what? To me, I just it's too much hand wringing, too much like, okay, mind your business if you don't like what you see.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't, you know, if you eat ass, whatever, if you eat sausage, you don't know how it's made, you don't want to know.
Bro, it's like a hot dog, bro. Everybody know, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. Any one of y'all hot dog eating motherfuckers, right? You know it's a lot of, it's probably human meat in that fucking hot dog. But don't ask, don't tell, motherfucker. Just eat the fucking hot dog.
It depends on the brand, Julius.
You right. But I'm just saying, we all know it ain't all meat in a hot dog, bro. You know, it's
same way here. It's called doner kebab. You guys call it that, doner kebab. But we don't know what the fuck's in it, but it's so tasty. These motherfuckers, after being drunk every night,
what I'm saying, don't ask, don't tell. And everybody knows that boxing is bent. Everybody knows the fighters, the managers, the promoters. So it's like, for y'all to do this, it's like, yo, y'all look stupid to anybody that's been paying attention. Well, y'all look stupid getting mad at this shit. Cause y'all ain't mad at Tyson Fury, right? For bleeding. In other words, why we trying to make Chris Eubank a victim? Christian Hammer, did y'all play him a violin? No, right? So y'all don't give a fuck about no Christian Hammer, right? I ain't shut the fuck up then. The fuck, bro?
I got a hypothesis. I can't really test it, but at this point it's more of an allegation. But I assume that it's the casuals who don't know shit about it, and the people like who do know something, like for example the promoters, the people, they point the casuals at like a target. I can't test this, but but it's my theory.
No, I agree with you, because anybody who's observant, 9 times out of 10, a fighter that they like will have popped. If you're old like me and your favorite fighters might be people like Roy Jones and James Toney, then you have to admit some of my guys, they popped. The guys I grew up with. If you from this era and you like Canelo, well, listen, bro, Canelo popped. If you like Tyson Fury, listen, Tyson Fury popped, bro. If you like
the boar meat.
Say it again.
But it was the boar meat and the tacos.
But that's what I'm saying. That like the moment, and that's when I realized that the moment that you got to start handing out people word sandwiches, you fucked up. Like, bro, stop it. Because all these guys, you can hand out a word sandwich to about any one of these tests, but underneath it all, you know what's going on. They all doping, bro. All of them.
Look what they did to Panama Lewis all those years ago. He got banned for life.
That's different. That I actually consider that different. I consider that different.
Yeah. All right. The thing is that the response with damage control, it's like it gets annoying and it's tiring sometimes. You know, shout out to Beats. You know, he put out a video like recently about Conor Benn and this doping, stuff, and he put out a clip of him, from 3 years ago saying like, yo, he can't believe that Gerald Miller popped 30. And it's like, yo, oh my God, like he was on his high horse, but now look at him, just trying to defend, trying to clear his name, but hasn't come up with any evidence.
And that's why I constantly bring up the Pascal Hopkins shit. that Pascal, he was on his high horse until he got popped. And when you see this often enough, you start to realize, bro, all y'all motherfuckers is lying. All y'all motherfuckers is on PEDs. Probably all of y'all. And I'm cool with that, because if all of you are on PEDs, then it is an even playing field. Y'all just on different types of PEDs. But it is an even playing field then if all of y'all using something. So I ain't even worried about that shit. Like, man, fuck that shit. Like, use your PEDs, bro.
If Victor Conte is running snack still, I mean, fuck it. I don't care if it's diabolical. You know, do what you want, man.
You said diabolical.
Yeah. As long as these fighters, you know, performing well, you know, I don't care.
Hey, can I say something? Whose job is it to regulate the sport exactly? Is it up to the boxing promotion and the governing bodies to do this shit?
The athletic commission.
Okay, then why is it always the journalists who have to remind them that there are rules in boxing? Every time it's a leak, every time it's some journalist, saying about this and this. When a fighter gets popped, it's in the news. Why is it our job to sit here and try to tell these people how to do the right thing? If they're not willing to do it, then why should we keep caring about this shit? You know?
That's why I don't care about this shit. Like, if in all actuality, if the powers, and I said this yesterday, that testing by itself, the average cost of a VADA test, right, for a fight is about 30,000 pounds. So apply the conversion rate, that's a little over $30,000. That could be like $35,000 to $40,000, depending on what the pound is worth right now, because the value went down. But in a nutshell, the money has to come from somewhere. So if people really wanted a cleaner sport, if you told every fighter, yo, do you want to give 10% of your purse so that we can fund testing regularly in the sport, you know what they're going to say? No. No.
Or
fuck, I gotta pay for that for. That's they gonna say something like, bro, yeah, the sport doesn't want to be clean, so let it be dirty then. Fuck it.
Exactly, because it's like you said, only let's just put it like that. If they wanted to do their jobs the right way, we would already had a clean sport. They don't want it that way.
Of course not. Everything takes money. So if you wanted a cleaner sport, you would have to treat that almost like a tax. You know, that this portion of your purse goes towards randomized testing at the championship level, because you can't possibly test every boxer. That's impossible. But at the championship level, where it would matter the most and where most boxers are going to end up, the really good ones, you know, those are the ones you want to catch, the ones at championship level, because you can't get them all, but you can get those guys. Well, okay, that takes money, bro. It's like the way y'all do it for your fight, you know, your fight that you're having. But I said this 2 lives ago. Sebastian Fundora was on a Boxing Voice. He said he's in the clean boxing program, and he said he has yet to be tested. So what is that?
Jules, I just want to say one thing here. Look, we're given so much. We know boxing gets fucked up and all this and that, but then when it comes to these testing agencies, yeah, bro, wherever they say, we agree with it. Yeah, they're right, or they're pop day. You never know. There could be politics behind that. What, you're telling me VADA is not taking money? UCAD is not going to take a little money envelope on the table?
I believe that VADA is a grift. I believe that at this point, VADA is a grift designed to extort money from fighters and promotional outfits to keep things under the table. That's what I believe, because everybody knows the sport is dirty, bro. Like, everybody
could mix something in that piss, bro. Both of them. You never know, bro. Who's behind those labs?
Well, Schwab, let me ask you this: why did UCAT not catch it, but VADA did? Like,
exactly.
They were going to go with UCAT ruling, but they decided to go with VADA, and that's why the fight was called off. I mean, I can't make it make sense.
Hey, Jules, there's a point I gotta make, and this is not like dirtiness is not limited to boxing. Every professional sport out there is dirty. If you're telling me these guys in their 40s are as good as they were in their 20s and 30s, I'm gonna say you're full of shit.
Exactly. You have to be.
Like that's what I don't.
Look at Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, bro. Like, how old are they, and how long have they been doing what they're doing, playing football, and they're still both number 1 and number 2 in the world.
And the funny thing is,
the thing. All right, let me say this. Let me say this. The thing is that it goes back to what was said before. The casual fan that hasn't been watching as closely as us, the people that follow the sport really closely, to them, they still have almost like like an infant set of eyes that, oh my God, they're cheating, not realizing, bro, they're all cheating. And if they're all cheating, then no one is cheating. I didn't hear Chris Eubank Sr. mention the PEDs. I'm going to listen to the whole interview because what I keep hearing him talk about is the weight. It seems like he's more angry at the weight than the PEDs. You know, I'm going to come after you. All that I'm like, bro, over the weight? He agreed to the weight, bro. Like, nobody made him do that. He could have said no. Fuck that. I'm not fighting
like some kind of drama series, you know. I'm gonna my boy.
Well, he's my little 30-year-old boy, you know, like he can't cope for himself. Oh, sorry, 32. You know, 33. Like at 30, whatever, 32, 33, 35, whatever. Like, you know, he's a little boy. He can't even drive yet by himself. Like, you can't ask that much out of him.
Like, dog, he has leather jackets that like fucking full size Louis Vuitton hot ass leather jackets. Leave that motherfucker alone, bro. He wanted 57. He agreed to that.
Most fighters are like, you know, on something, but there were fighters back in the day that weren't. Like, I mean, Foreman, he's a great example, you know. He came back at 45 and he wasn't on PEDs. And
you can pinpoint the era when PEDs started to find their way into organized sports because there was no regulation at the time. Remember, Arnold pumping iron for all those bodybuilding contests. Everybody was on performance enhancing drugs because there was no regulation, so it wasn't a secret. And little by little, as there began to be regulation, everybody was still on PEDs. They just weren't talking about it.
Right.
You know, like it wasn't publicized. But everybody, why you think Ronnie Coleman got that way and Jay Cutler got that way on their own? Hell, motherfucking no.
Did they ever admit to being natty? I don't think they did. I think they admitted to being on PEDs.
Because you'd have to be an idiot to think you would have to be like, you think he got that way by himself just eating lasagna and shit. That's
lasagna, man.
Hey, Julius, did you listen to that part of the interview where he said clear as day that he believed that Conor Benn was a clean fighter? So when I was listening to it, he sounded confused. I really think that, you know, he was just out of a mental hospital, right? I mean, he just got out of the hospital, so I would imagine
he just traveled, bro. He was in South Africa when the fight got
canceled. So that was all cap. Good, all right. But he does still sound disturbed in some way because, like, he's upset. You can just hear it in his
what
voice.
if I told you that the reason that he believes that Conor is clean is because he don't want to admit that his son is dirty?
Hey, Jules. No. Toby Bartlett says Chris Eubank Sr. spoke to Spencer Ferron again tonight on Stamina for Sale. Says worth listening to.
Well, is it the one that I just played or is it a different one?
Yes, it's the one that you just played.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I believe that there's a code, like the blue wall of silence. I believe there's a wall of PEDs. Everybody knows, bro.
No, it's chicken and mushrooms. I'm sorry, chicken and broccoli.
Whatever the fuck it is. There's a wall, bro. There's a fucking wall. And that's why I'm not against it, because they only care, right? They're only pretending to care now because the fighter has a profile. Oh, it's Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Y'all didn't give a shit about Christian Hammer. Did y'all?
Y'all didn't give a shit about the three allegations.
Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck, and nobody overturned the decision when Tyson Fury tested positive for nandrolone after the Hammer fight. Did the commission overturn the decision? No.
Nope. He gets a pass.
Hey, Jules, real quick, can I ask you something? Have you ever actually looked at older fights with the older guys? Like, have you ever looked at their physique compared to now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were better fighters. You want my honest opinion?
No, they were. I'm just saying, like, physically, these are not the same fighters, and it's noticeable at this point. Like, the old training routines have been worn out. They're doing all this new stuff and chemical, and it's completely different from what it used to be.
Let me say this. I honestly believe, this is just my belief, this is just me. Those men from back then, that Foreman, that Liston, that Dempsey, that Tooney, that Bear, that Lewis, those were stronger men. It sounds crazy to people because they're not as big. Those were tougher, stronger men that could fight longer then make one of these guys fight for 15 rounds.
He fought 55 rounds.
That's what I was just gonna say. Why is it these guys have the capacity? Their gas tanks are 100 times better. Even a lot of the middle of the road fighters had the capacity to fight 15 rounds and do it consistently, and they were fighting more often. So even though there's better training today, there's better nutritional, there's better knowledge, these guys are not nearly as good as they once were. Not even close.
I believe tactically in terms of strategy, maybe they're a little better, but I believe that most of what you see now, they're compensating for the weaknesses that these guys have that the guys before didn't have. You see what I mean? That, like, look at Billy Conn. Billy Conn was not a real heavyweight. He wasn't. He looked smaller than Joe Louis, but they fought for 13 rounds, bro. That's because he got knocked out in the 13th.
Yeah,
He was throwing punches and bunches in the 13th round, bro. In the 13th round, ask one of these guys to be throwing punches and bunches with no pads.
Well,
in
Jules,
the 12th.
Well, Jules, I would also say that if you look at just the way fighters are built nowadays versus back then, in the 15-round fighters, everyone is lean. Lean does not require as much O2 for your oxygen to go through anaerobic respiration. Muscle, big boys, like the heavyweights we got right now. Like, for example, Joe Joyce, big-ass dude. He's never going to go 15. He's too big. Same with Tyson Fury. Like, he won't go 15 because he's too fucking big. Even Usyk. I love Usyk. He's my boy. Usyk's my boy. He's not going to, he's still too bulky.
But he's got a better chance than most of the other heavyweights.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm getting at is he's bulky.
Let me say this. Just because they're bigger doesn't mean they're better. They're not better. That's what I'm saying. They're just bigger. Look, the guys that come from harsh environments, for example, I'm gonna give you an example. A guy who comes from a harsh environment that I believe is the proof. Gennady Golovkin comes from a harsh environment. Do I think he has a great resume? No. Do I think he's a great physical specimen? Absolutely. There were young guys that Canelo knocked the fuck out. He couldn't knock this old 40-year-old bastard out. He couldn't. True. He tried.
Well, there's the argument too that even Canelo doesn't have the greatest gas tank. And you would talk about a guy who's got all the advantages, a guy who trains probably harder than anybody, fights more often than anybody. His gas tank is, probably one of his biggest weaknesses.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
His output is not his output. I would say that his output in the Jacobs fight, that was beautiful. Good balance of offense and defense. He's throwing more than one punch at a time and more than just two punches at a time. But ever since he went up to super middleweight, it's really only 1 or 2 shots at a time. It's not 1, 2, 3. He's not really getting in the guy's ass the way that he used to.
Loading his shots.
Yeah, like he's just trying to nail the guy with one shot right now. He kind of getting lazy a little bit is what it looks like to me. And I look at the fighters of then, like, if you look at Sugar Ray Robinson, he threw punches and bunches, bro. And it was a lot on all the shots. But he threw punches and bunches. Sugar Ray Leonard, punches and bunches, bro. Tommy Hearns, punches and bunches. Yo, motherfuckers threw more punches in the first 3 rounds of Hagler Hearns than your average heavyweight fight. Yep. In them 3 rounds of the beginning, they threw more punches right there than most heavyweight fights.
That was a beautiful fight.
It was a beautiful fight. Beautiful fight. But what I'm saying is that these guys are getting bigger, not necessarily better. No, I don't. I think if they unleashed a Burt Cooper on cocaine, he'll beat most of y'all. He'll beat 75% of the division.
Yep.
Game.
Well,
let him sniff a little coke.
Burt was a handful for anybody he fought.
Jules, to your point that you made about Canelo, keep in mind he's a small, stocky dude. Like that's his entire shtick. Like he's genetically not. How can I say this? He's not genetically blessed with like larger reach than most people his size. He's not blessed with like height advantage. He's just a stocky Mexican. That's really all he is, and I say that generously.
Like, have you ever fought a Mexican before?
Yeah, I get that.
They're not easy to fight, bro. No. I'm being real. They're not easy to fight. Even when they're drunk, they're not easy to knock out. If you riding a one train, especially when I was young, a drunk Mexican cat be leading, and you end up in some shit like, yo, get the fuck off of me, and you push him, and he get up, and y'all square up. It's wow. They got hard fucking heads, bro.
You're gonna miss your stop. You're You're gonna miss your stop. You fight.
That's why most of them are pressure fighters.
It's the same shit.
That's how Tank broke his hand over fucking
Isaac
his hand over fucking Isaac Cruz's head.
No, but I'm like, no cap. It's two people that I've seen that from experience, they're hard to fight. Mexicans and fat people. Fat people are really fucking hard to fight, bro. Like it's just so difficult, bro, because they're so fucking fat. And it's like fighting a blob. Like you hit them and they just take it all, and it's hard, bro.
Jules, wait, Jules. Y'all know what it's like. Who saw the first Kung Fu Panda movie?
Oh, bro, yeah, Tai Lung.
You remember he with the pressure points? I'm gonna pee.
So, are you saying arguably the toughest person to fight? The toughest person to fight is a fat Mexican, then, based on that logic?
I would say, listen. Who saw the TikTok of the fat dude with no shirt on? He's got inline skates. He does a fucking backflip off the shit. And he said, "This,
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
that's facts, bro. Like a dude that's built like that. That's a hard fight, bro. I'm telling you.
But you know what? You got to stay away from him and don't let him grab a hold of you, because if you do, you're done.
I tell you, yo, like it's hard.
That's why Andy Ruiz is so good.
Ladies with big tits, bro. The gunshots.
Andy, look, Luis Ortiz has been boxing for 200 years. He couldn't beat Andy Ruiz.
Bro, Luis Ortiz is literally Rita Raposa when she got out of that fucking container that she was trapped in for 200 years, and now I'm free.
Bro, that dude has been boxing for 200 years. He couldn't beat Andy Ruiz, bro. He hit him with everything he had. And he couldn't beat that dude.
If he fought Tyrone Spong, Ruiz would have knocked him out.
Yeah, but that's also because Spong is chinny. Spong is chinny. He is chinny. So in a nutshell, to put the ped thing to rest, I don't think anybody on this panel actually gives two furry flamingo-shaped fucks about peds. I don't. I'm like, bro, they're all probably on something. To be honest,
I care about it because I need my weekly supply. So,
he said tiring Spong.
Hey, AJ, give me like 2 more years so I can get my doctorate, and I got you, bro. I'll hook you up.
Appreciate that.
Just give me 2 years, man.
Anybody running around thinking that doping isn't rampant in most every single organized sport that is an organized sport, you probably believe in the Easter Bunny.
Do you realize how many people walking around that are dabbling in steroids? I mean, let alone professional athletes.
Man,
dabbling.
What you got against the Easter Bunny, Jules?
Jules, hey, Jules, the Easter Bunny's real. He knocked out my teeth when I was a kid and stole them shits. He put some respect on that man's name, all right?
There's a
now let's get off the pad shit, because we've been on that shit for 2 days, and I'm done with that shit. All right, now Julio just joined the panel. Julio,
what's up, Julio?
Do you hold it against Sebastian Fundora that he didn't knock out Ocampo? Do you think it's an indictment? Do you think it reflects poorly on him that he didn't knock him out?
No, I think that Sebastian is a good young fighter with good upside, but every time he fights, I just think that he should breathe a deep sigh of relief that Xander Zayas is at Top Rank and not at PBC.
I do agree with that. No, I wholeheartedly. Xander, the weirdest thing about Xander is he already looks like a complete fighter. He looks like a complete fighter. He can fight on the inside, fight on the outside. He hits hard. He's coordinated. He's balanced. And he's not even in his prime, bro. This is not the best Xander that we see him right now. Like, he's going to get better. So I agree. Xander would beat the shit out of him.
How many world champions, honestly, right now, young guys on Top Rank? I see, honestly, probably 4 or 5 future world champions on some of those young dudes. They got a great crop.
I agree.
The scariest thing about Xander Zayas is he hasn't even had 20 fights yet, dude.
Bro, but he fights often, bro. Like, didn't he fight like 6 times last year?
Yes, he did.
So. Yeah.
That dude, they keep that, and that's good. To me, that's good. Like, for all these young guys, like, I see Sebastian. I feel like Sebastian should be fighting 3 to 4 times a year, because it's like, bro, why not? Just find him.
If he was on Top Rank or if he was on a different promotional company, I believe he would be, honestly.
I agree.
Just think it's the fact he's on PBC.
I agree. Do you guys think he's actually going to get the Charlo fight?
I doubt it.
No.
Yeah, but why? What's the most logical step, though, if he doesn't fight him? I mean, really, it's the best time for Charlo. It's the best time for him.
I think you will get the fight in 2030.
Charlo wants to fight him. He wants to fight him now when he's still got some deficiencies with defense, when his body's still growing.
Now's the time to get him.
To take him. Yeah, because he'll always have that. He always have that scalp. You say, well, I beat Fundora. Now look at Fundora.
The thing is, I feel like this. If Charlo and Fundora were top-ranked fighters, then I would be confident that the fight happens because that's what they do. But because they're on the PBC, I'm like, look, Charlo only fought once this year, bro. Once.
And it was a good fight, mind you, but
No,
still
it was
just
a
one
great
time.
fight. But I'm saying that the dude only fought once the whole year, bro.
He's about to fight Tim in January, so is that the only time we're going to see him next year too?
That's what I'm saying. Is that going to be the only fight that he has?
You're not going to convince me that it has nothing to do with the budget. You can't, because how are you going to wait till next year to get a fight like that over the line, man? You could have done it like this year.
That's like their whole roster. Like their whole roster's inactive.
That's the point. That is the point that I'm making. That why would you have to wait till next year, January, to do the Tim Tszyu fight?
And you know, Jules, I would also say Charlo doesn't have that many miles on him to the point that he should have to wait a whole last year. Strike while the iron's hot. You just went undisputed. Fight again, because now people know your name and they want more and they want to see you.
And a lot of people watched that fight. It was close to 1 million people that watched that fight, which is great numbers from a premium cable network, because usually Showtime don't usually get that many people, like 800,000 viewers for a boxing match. No,
That's
they don't.
That's a really great. That's a great number.
It's a great number. And what do y'all do? Y'all shelf them till next year. That's crazy.
That fight could have happened already because, okay, Jamel, he just fought Brian, right? Okay, so take a week or two off the max, right? Then go into training camp for 8 weeks. Then do the fight.
Yeah,
it's got to be budget related. It's got to be budget related. It's got to be something. The fact that they just don't have enough slats. They don't have enough dates open, and you would think that if your product is doing better, meaning people are going to tune in, isn't it an argument that you can say, listen, we need more dates? Look at this, we're getting viewers. Don't you want to make money? This is how we make money.
But also, the rumor that they pay their fighters in increments might have something to do with this. Like they have to catch up on payments.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, they're definitely punting on this year. They're not putting any shows, and I didn't catch this this last one that they had. I mean, to me, PBC is like very stay in your own lane, and that's why they are what they are. So,
sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Villain. You say budget, and I agree. It probably is budget, but here's what pisses me off: you have 110 million to offer Canelo, but you don't have anything to make your own fighters have fights. It's a fucking, it's a scam.
I agree with you 100%, but I think
no. All right, let me champ the shit. This is the difference. You're not giving Canelo anything. Canelo is bringing. You can, we can say, yeah, they're offering Canelo 100 million, and when in reality, what that is, we know that Canelo is good for 100 million, so we're willing to stake it on Canelo.
Wait, Jules, how did you do that?
But the point is, they have it though. That's the point.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. So you have something to shelf out.
Because the network, think about it this way. Yes, I see the point that if the network has to go to their resources, they have the resources, which is true. But they're not going to use those resources for guys that don't yield a return. You know that.
Canelo bring it back. Canelo bring it back most likely. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. That we ain't talking about fucking Gary Russell that has no fans. You know what I mean? Like we. Yeah.
Okay, fine. You know. Okay, I get what.
Point through.
Well, Jules, he has two fans. Let's be real. He has
people
two
talking
fans.
at the same time.
Sorry.
It's a very.
I
very
just want to say, I was like, look how sad boxing is. Yeah, Devin Haney is after Canelo. He's gonna at least defend his undisputed. Charlo hasn't done it yet. Flipping. Who else was it? Fucking Josh Taylor. He didn't back it up. After Canelo is Devin Haney. That's how sad boxing is, bro.
I think the argument with Canelo is that they know he's a safe, conservative choice. They know the money's going to come back. That's how little faith they have in some of their other fighters. I think, honestly, any network's going to say, okay, we'll give the dude $50 million. We'll put $100 million into it because we know we're going to get it back. It's the safest gamble.
But here's why I agree. I get it, and I agree with you guys. But here's a counterpoint. Here's why I say here's what confused me. Specifically, I'm going to focus on the Charlo situation. He just had 800,000 people watch him. He's fresh in your mind. So now's the perfect time to put him on pay-per-view while he's fresh in the mind. Because I might not be I don't have a business degree or nothing, but I have this thing called common sense, and I feel like common sense wise, right after he has 800,000 people see him is when you should put him on pay-per-view.
You have what you need. You're a consumer. Your opinion. This is why I constantly say this on the channel. We're consumers. What we think matters because we purchase boxing. So if the consumers feel that we should see Charlo one more time this year, then you should listen to the consumers. For some fucking reason, you don't. You spend money on Jake Paul and Anderson Silva.
The thing is this. I can explain it. Let me explain it real quick. The deal is this, is that they'll put money into someone like Canelo because they know they're going to get the money back. When you have a product that's dying or you have a promotional company that's dying, what you can no longer do when you have a limited budget or you have constraints, you can no longer take risk. And that's why you're noticing they're not taking any risk whatsoever. It's about risk.
Do you remember when? Do you remember?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on. Who was that? JBN?
No, I was just gonna say. Do you remember when Floyd said that we were just gonna have in-house fights for Tank?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if he was speaking for the whole of PBC. If he was saying broadly.
He was, but also remember they tried to get Munguia. They tried to get Munguia, guys. Remember that?
But that's
didn't Floyd just say?
Don't I?
Didn't Floyd just say that Crawford and Spencer is only going to happen when I want it to happen?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even know what that was. Such a weird flex, bro.
What does that mean?
What did he have to do with that?
I don't know.
Either those two,
bro. I think they're using his money. I honestly believe that.
When you say that you and Al Haymon are the same person, then if I have to take you at your word, then you own half the PBC.
Well, yeah,
that's what it sounds like, bro.
Floyd considers himself part of PBC or partial a partner because remember what he said: if you working for PBC, you work for me.
But country doesn't. Who's breathing on their mic, bro? Get the mic away from your mouth. Shit.
Sorry. I'm kidding.
Now, I believe that a part of what's been keeping the PBC afloat throughout this Fox shit, because Fox is not giving them any money. That's the story. Then how are they paying for the production on Fox? It got to be Floyd's money, bro. Because who the fuck else money they going? You're not going to use Showtime money to put on shows on Fox. That's stupid. So I'm like, if they're using somebody's money, it got to be Floyd's.
I have this conspiracy theory personally that I think that Floyd really is Al Haymon. It's like the Nutty Professor situation. During day, he's Al Haymon. During night, he's Floyd Mayweather.
I can see that.
Night he loses his hair.
Yeah, it's like a split personality.
He's like the Urkel. He's like the Urkel
exactly.
for Family Matters.
It's kind of so
I could see it.
But could I ask y'all something right quick?
Don't talk about Al Haymon.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's about just some Fundora's like. Have y'all noticed that like whatever the PBC has like a big name fighter or just whatever else, and they seem to get like a a tune up or a gimme. They seem to struggle a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Montiel, and Adames did what he needed. It's like that's what's supposed to happen. You ain't supposed to be here in the 12th.
He did what Jamal should have did. He did what Jamal should have did.
That's what I'm saying. And regardless of whatever, if Jamal were the fighter that he's made out to be, there's no way that guy sees the distance, man. There's no way.
But he did.
Right?
Well,
Imagine if Golovkin went 12 rounds with Montiel.
Oh God.
Oh my God, bro! I gotta stop talking boxing on Facebook because I just saw somebody that after they posted that fucking story on Three Kings Boxing, their blog, that Adames handled Montiel in just 3 rounds. 3 rounds. He didn't want the distance. 3 rounds. They say, oh, he's not ready for Charlo. My God, he was just mandatory.
Wow.
You know what the funny shit is? Boxing media is not treated like a sport, which is why I'm the only person I would go to besides Beats and Sport and a couple of guys. Because I'm like, look, it's simple, bro. Adames has proven that he is at least at the same level as Jamal because he knocked out a guy that Jamal could not knock out.
Exactly.
It's simple. He's proven that he's at that level. Now the ball let me talk. Now the ball is in Jamal's court to prove that he's better than Adames. Why? Because he just proved he could knock a guy out that you can't knock out. Now you have to prove to him that you better than him. That's how it go.
Man,
That's why we
Charlo
watch.
better stay the hell away from Adames, because I think Adames is going to beat him if they fight at this point.
Listen,
It depends. It
the
depends.
fans have to stop holding, Charlo's hand, Jamal Charlo's hand, and make him fight. Like,
When's the fight gonna get ordered? That's the question.
Well, let me
as soon
see.
as his back injury clears up.
Let me say this. There were things that Adames was doing that would get him knocked out, which is why you don't see me saying indefinitely that Adames would beat him. There were things that Adames did that would help him win, but there were also things that he did that would make him lose. When he stuck out that jab to the body out of southpaw, I could see Charlo coming right over the top with some shit. You doing that shit. You could do that to Montiel because he don't bend his knees or bend at the waist. You can't do that with Jamal. But at the same time, fighting southpaw, that would help you beat him. It would, because look at what Korobov did. He couldn't miss him with the straight left hand. He literally could not miss him whenever
Right,
he
and
shot
also, Jamal's inactivity also, man. I mean, he hasn't fought in how long? And yeah, things are not. And then mentally, he's got all kinds of stuff going on. That's
So
why I say that.
The way I see it, it's a close fight. It's not a gimme. It's not a gimme that Adames wins. But for them to say he's not ready, bro, who the fuck else does he have to fight to be ready then, bro? Who?
I forget. Did Carlos Adames beat Patrick Teixeira? Or did
No, he
lose that
lost.
one?
He
lost.
He lost that one,
he has
right?
on his record. It's the only loss he has on his record.
All right, I think it was a UD, right? I don't remember that
Yeah,
fight.
he lost the decision. Yeah, but he got knocked down in that fight. I remember he got knocked down.
Hey,
but he is better now than he was before. Like I could say that.
I know. I just had to mentally remember who Adames is. There's so many boxers out there that fight like once or twice a year that honestly some of them just leave my mind, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I understand.
I want to ask the panel a question. In all seriousness, all joking aside, when you think about Fox, when you think of Showtime, when you think of PBC, does it feel like it's a healthy product, that it's in a healthy place, that it's going to last, it's going to be here another year? I mean, do the way they come across, does it come across that you would invest money in long term?
No. Is that you,
Why?
Dylan?
Give me feedback. Why? Why do you believe? Like, give me an example of why you don't believe it.
Dylan, is that you?
Yes.
Let me tell you the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear PBC or Fox pay-per-view. A brick. That's what I think of, because that's nothing. That's not value for money. Nothing they have put on this year is even worth the money that I put out for a pay-per-view. Like, Canelo versus Triple G, for example, that was worth the money. Even though it wasn't on pay-per-view, like Joshua versus Usyk too. I heard that was pay-per-view in the UK. Like, I was worth watching. Do you guys get the sense that it's worth what they're asking you to pay?
No.
With such great fights like Luis Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz out there, honestly, I don't know how you could even ask this question.
Let me put it to you another way, right? Shakur Stevenson beat Oscar Valdez in one-sided fashion, right? And no rematch, and Oscar was a champion. The reason that they said that they did a rematch for Ancajas with Martinez was, Ancajas used to be, so fucking what if he was a champion? You guys are literally recycling fights, and if you've been paying attention, they've been doing that for about 4 years now. Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner Mares 2. Adonis Stevenson versus Andres Fonfara 2.
Wilder Ortiz 2.
Wilder Ortiz 2. They're recycling fights because of what I've been telling you. Their stable is thinning out. All of the good amateurs, they went to Top Rank. All the good ones, Bruce Carrington, motherfucking Shakur Stevenson when he, fresh out the amateurs, motherfucking Richard Torres, motherfucking the Puerto Rican kid. All the good young guys went to Top Rank. Whereas what PBC more or less has is a lot of old guys. Charlo, he's 32. How old is Keith Thurman? How old is Errol Spence? Sean Porter just retired.
Can I say this? Let me give you a metaphor, yeah? You know what PVC is like? You know that homeless man that hasn't showered, say, for over 2-3 years, and he wears that same underwear for the 3 years? Even if you wash it now, there's no point. It just has to get thrown. That's what PVC is. It just needs to be just forgotten about and just throw it in the bin.
PBC is what happens when you forget that you need new socks and new underwear, and you look at your shit like it's mad dingy, and it's time to buy some new socks and new underwear. And I don't see the fighter, because everybody has one. Matchroom has a few. Top Rank has a few. Even Golden Boy has one or two. Ryan. and Virgil. But when you look at PBC, who is the young flagship fighter?
I think they just got Floyd Shaffield, and he's a good fighter. So
Golden Boy got Floyd.
Golden
Schofield.
Boy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Golden
Boy. Who does the PBC have that is that young fighter? Because Tank is 27. He's not a young fight. Like, he's 27. Like, he coming up on 30. So it's not him. Who is that young fighter that they have that is the equivalent of a Bruce Carrington, a Tiger Johnson? Somebody.
I know.
Who?
Stephen Fulton.
Come on, man.
Bro, did you just say Stephen Fulton?
Luis Ortiz.
Well, they'll be stupid. And in this new generation, they'll be fucking dumb and stupid to sign with PBC.
I think they know better. I mean, it says a lot when a young fighter and his father, shout out to his father for making the right decisions and looking out for his son. I think the young fighters know not to go there because Devin didn't go there, Shakur didn't go there, Schofield didn't go there, Carrington didn't go there, Tiger Johnson didn't go there. Nobody went over there. Nobody that has a ceiling. Nobody went over there. So that kind of tell you how they feel about it. And they managers, how they feel about it. They're like, nah, we're not going over there. We're going to go over here. We're not going over there.
I mean, but like if you factor into what his dad said, like in that interview, it all makes sense. Is the business and career decisions that all the PBC fighters have made? Because why would David resign? Anybody tell me why would David Benavidez resign to them?
I know why he resigned. I know why he resigned. He's not the one signing. Samson and the father are the ones signing. Now, why are they signing? Because they don't want those fights. They're getting kickbacks to keep him there, and they're not. Yep. It's unethical for the manager to be in cahoots that deep with the promoter. But that is what's going on because it doesn't make sense. You can't get David a big fight. Think about it. If you're David's manager and your promoter, the promoter that you work with on this particular platform, he can't get you the Charlo fight. It's been 2 years he can't get you the goddamn fight. 2 years.
Not a guy, what's his name? The Samson, he promotes the Fedoras too, right?
Jules,
yeah, but he's not a promoter that has a deal with a network, though. You feel what I'm saying? That he could have took his stable, which is Fundora and Benavidez. He could have took that stable to a different platform. He could have took them to Top Rank if he felt like it, and they'll get big fights, But you see that he keeps them there because I believe he's getting a little something extra to keep them there, which is a conflict of interest. Like, no, the best deal for your fighter may not be at PBC. The best deal for your fighter, I don't know, maybe it's a Top Rank. Maybe it's at Matchroom. But you keep these guys there because somebody is paying you to keep them there.
Respectfully, Jules, I actually have to disagree with you on this one. I honestly think Tank Davis is content with where he's at right now, and I'll tell you why.
No, Tank is an idiot, bro.
Do you remember when he went on the podcast? I don't forget which podcast it was when he said, when they asked him, like, he was with his own fans, and they said, oh, yeah, how many times did you go up to him and say, I want these big fights? He said, never. And I'm like, I honestly believe he is content in his position as a niche market.
He is.
So
you're confused about something, right? Just because Tank doesn't have the situational awareness to ask for those fights, his manager is supposed to. Yeah. His manager. This is what's wrong with the situation. There are bigger fights out there for Tank. There are promoters that can afford to pay him and his opponent what they want. For some reason, he doesn't leave. Now, he is just a fighter. He is obviously not a suit, but your manager is a suit. And for some reason, it doesn't dawn on your manager. You know what? If we went to Top Rank, they could afford to pay Tank and they could afford to pay Devin. But I don't really want that for Tank.
Yeah, but if Tank doesn't give a shit enough to approach and confront his manager, then what? Like, look, if the manager is content and so is Tank, then happy, hold hands in ignorance and less money.
What I'm telling you is you putting it in on Tank. When I'm looking at the manager,
okay, fair enough.
Look at the manager and ask yourself, fucking Isaac Cruz is not a big fight. You know that you could be making more money unless you are making more money to keep him here.
But realistically, I think Tank is not in 100% happy because why is he posting these Instagram stories and he's deleting them? So, where there's smoke, there's fire. So absolutely, I think just from the standpoint of his own ego, I think he wants to fight some of those guys. He wants to shut people up like you and me who are saying he's in bubble wrap. So I think he does want those fights, but I think he knows he has to go along to get along. Unfortunately,
I don't think he has. I don't think he has the maturity to make a grown man's decision. I honestly don't. I think he's a man child just by how he acts and how he dresses. Like, nah, you a kid, bro. Like, even though you 27, you got a little kid brain. And he's not gonna make the decision like Artur, for example. It didn't take Artur long to get upset and do something about it, because under the contract, I remember what I read about his issue with Yvonne Michelle when Yvonne was working with the PBC. Artur's issue was he was promised a certain number of fights per year and they didn't deliver. So as soon as he saw that they didn't deliver, he got the fuck up out of there. You see what I mean? Jacobs made a big man's decision. Like, bro, I beat Peter Quillen. You know what I mean? And I would, like, you gonna know, the promotion wasn't behind Jacobs, it was behind Quillen. All right, they made that fight thinking Quillen was gonna win that shit, and Jacobs made a grown man's decision. Like, nah, I'm up out of here, bro. Fuck this bullshit. I'm out this motherfucker.
Hey, Jules. I mean, the perfect example of what you're talking about is that when he first was gonna leave, and he went through all that drama, talking smack online and all that, and then all of a sudden he turned around and just re-signed after all that stuff.
Because he got a little kid brain.
Yeah, and that proves it. That proves it.
You see, I'm happy you mentioned that, Conchi, because like shit like that is why I hold him to like. This is why I feel like he is in a way content. Like, yes, you post this shit on Twitter, but when you had the opportunity to leave, yes, your manager may have fucked you over, but you are a grown man, 27 years old. At 27 years old, you got to start to like think for yourself. Don't rely everything on your manager. If you fucking hate the position you're in, you can't fight who you want to fight. What on earth would compel you to re-sign with them?
Yeah, why would you walk back
listen, but also look, and I don't hold this against people, because I realize it's just different types of people in the world. Some people are very business minded. It's just in them. They're critical thinkers. For a kid like Davis, right? I don't think he is that. Now, I'm not trying to cop him a plea. I'm just saying that in a situation like that, your manager is not doing their job, and it's because your manager is in cahoots with the promoter. They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that way. But in your situation, it is. When rightfully, what your manager should be doing is looking to get you the best deal. The best deal is not at TMT. I'm sorry. No, it's not. What does TMT have? Nothing.
I mean,
the best deal for Gervonta Davis, it's not with Matchroom. It's with Top Rank. Top Rank has all the young guys that people would pay pay-per-view to see you fight. But they're convincing you that you should be happy with a little over 200,000 pay-per-views when you could be selling more than that, fighting Lomachenko, or fighting Devin Haney, or fighting Shakur Stevenson, or fighting Teofimo Lopez. You could be selling way more than that fighting them. But they're convincing you, no, this 200 and change is good. Which one of them do it? That's what they tell them. Which one of them doing that?
Like,
oh, you did 500, you did 5 mil at the gate.
But they also might know what we know, and that's that he wouldn't win those fights. A lot of them, at least.
Oh yeah, you're right.
If he goes to Top Rank, what happens to his own?
Yeah. But with all due respect, we're asking a guy to make critical decisions, good decisions, when he's leaving a pregnant girl at a car crash. I mean, with all due respect, I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but if I just got in a wreck and I know that a woman is pregnant, I can think forward enough to go, okay, if I leave this situation, 1, it's a felony hit and run, and 2, it's not going to look good when I have to stand in front of a judge and go, why did you leave a pregnant woman who's asking you for help? So for someone who's willingly making that decision, I don't have a lot of faith that they're probably making the best business decisions in their life either.
And without being judgmental, all I'm saying is there is a person that is getting a portion of Tank's purse that's supposed to make those decisions, and they're not making them. So what you have to ask yourself is why. Even if Tank is a bozo and an idiot, the manager gets paid to make these decisions. That, look, there's nothing for us at the PBC. There's nothing here. The biggest fights for my fighter, they're not here. But for some reason, the manager don't give a shit. The trainer don't give a shit. There's got to be a reason. And if you ask me, it's because they're getting paid to keep them.
They want to rerun the Rolly fight with him. I mean, come on.
Well, but look at it.
Listen, this is what I want to get to, and it speaks to what the quality of the product they put out. Now, I keep hearing like, yo, that PBC is being run like a rap label. Whoa, they're putting out music that has no replay value whatsoever. Like, Tank is stuck in a fucking promotion that is cutting itself off from the rest of the boxing world, and it's passing him by. Like, All this like this is the reason why I didn't bother to see yesterday's fights because of that shit. Because like when a fighter has another fighter's number and yet you still want to play it up again. This is why I'm fucking aggravated by Fury and Wilder. They want to do the same shit over and over again.
But you can agree that if a manager is doing what he's not supposed to be doing for a guy like Tank, and then he's talking to Al Haymon or he's talking to Ellerby or he's talking to Floyd, and they say, listen, we don't want to take a risk. We don't take a risk. The PBC doesn't take a risk. If you go along to get along, I can guarantee you're not going to have to take a risk, but you're going to get money no matter what. So go along to get along. Those guys are going to do that because they don't want to lose what they have. They don't want to make a risk.
They truly believe, they truly don't believe that their fighters can win. So they keep them in their, their respective little corners. They're only fiefdoms of the fucking boxing world, and not fight against the other competition.
Okay, now let me address this. One, Bob is not cheap. Shakur Stevenson made $3 million for Robson Conceição. Terrence Crawford got more money up front for Sean Porter than Errol got. Terrence got
Porter got more money.
He said it. He said it.
Hey, Julian.
Exactly.
Hey, bro, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen Panama Lewis? There was a documentary that was done a couple of years ago about that incident where the guy removed the stuffing from his gloves when he was fighting Billy Collins. Right. Anyway, there was an interaction, like the documentary literally showed the interaction between the fighter and Panama Lewis. And he was talking to him like a man would talk to his son. He was like offering him money. He was saying, hey, if you need a job, man, I got you. Anything you need. Like some of these guys that they pick off the street, they never lose that mentality, that childhood bullshit where I'm looking for a father figure. I'm not saying that's what this is, but what I am saying is they do have a way with these fighters. They know how to manipulate.
But also the manager, the other thing that's not being said, and I say this just for clarity, because I blame Gervonta like you guys, don't misunderstand me. But also what doesn't get said is there's a function that a manager is supposed to perform. Whoever manages these fighters, they're not performing that function because you're literally not getting the fighter the best money that's out there or the best deal that's out there.
It's almost like they work on consignment.
Yeah, it's like to put it more bluntly, and I hate to say this about a black old business, but the PBC, they're not but poverty pimps.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's not. That's what it looks like. Like I'm like, if you're a manager and you have a lightweight, you have a lightweight fighter, he's worth some money, and you know that the biggest fights, well, it's not with the PBC. What are the big fights for Gervonta Davis? Ryan Garcia, who's with Golden Boy, Devin Haney, who's with Top Rank, or Lomachenko, who's with Top Rank, or Shakur in the future, who's with Top Rank. Now, these are fights that if you put them on pay-per-view, they would literally do more buys than all the fights you've had on pay-per-view, but your manager doesn't go for them. They don't even try. There's two reasons, and you just said one of them. One, they probably don't like Tank's chances in those fights. They don't want to gamble. But two, also, and I believe this, they're getting money to keep him there. When you hear Calvin Ford talk about, right around the time that all of that stuff was going on with Gervonta and the Rolly fight. If you heard Calvin Ford, you already knew what time it was like, bro, that kid is not going nowhere. Wow, look at how his trainer talking. Oh, we all in the same circle. Like, all right, I already know that he not going nowhere then, basically, because you happy. Even though he not happy, you happy. Now, why would you be happy if he's not happy? If the fighter is not happy, why would you be happy?
Because you're not concerned about the well-being of the fighter. You're concerned
getting
about
paid.
the well-being of yourself.
You're getting paid.
Yeah, bribes are the best form of risk mitigation.
The show must go on.
Before I go, I just want to say this. Julius, you're 500 years old now. You'll be 1,000 soon. Me, I'm 26. I'll be 80 soon. And still PBC going to be around with the same fighters, same Tank Davis, same Keith Thurman. So I don't think this is a sad truth. PBC, I don't see it ending. I'm sorry. They would just be 80. Floyd Mayweather right now is 50 what? 40 something, 50 something, and he's still fighting. These fighters are gonna carry on boxing until they die. And on that note, have a very good night. Fuck PBC and thank you, Al Haymon.
All right, now nobody interrupt me, please. Let me address this one. Bob did try to get Bud Pacquiao. I don't know how many times I've said this, but the guy must have missed it. Freddie Roach himself said that Bob was pushing them to make the Crawford fight, and it was Manny's wife that didn't want it. And Freddie Roach himself said that he was concerned. More recently, in 2020, they tried to make the fight, and Pacquiao, like y'all keep putting it on Bob, and it's Pacquiao. Pacquiao said he wanted $40 million for Terrence Crawford. Bob tried to get it. He couldn't. Like, I don't know why that's such a popular narrative. You honestly think Bob didn't? Bob wanted that because he needed a crossover fight for Bud, but it was Manny that was making it difficult.
Well, because it's cash out. He wants a cash. Manny knows he's probably going to lose.
And I didn't even knock Manny because, you know, Manny was in his late 30s when he said that. So I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to put him in there with a Crawford, yeah, you're going to want $40 million. But it's not Bob's fault that shit didn't happen.
And if you heard what Freddie Roach is saying, when people would ask him about that fight, he was not very excited for that fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all that information is out there that Freddie himself, and this was 6 years ago, he said Bob wants that fight, and it concerns me because when Terrence Crawford hits guys, most people forget Freddie Roach was Victor Postol's trainer at that time when they fought. It's like, yo, he was hurting my guy. And that fight, you know, Bob is pushing for that fight, and it concerns me. They didn't like it's the Pacquiao side that didn't want the fight. I don't like to bring it up because I'm like, look, Manny's accomplished. I get it. You've been in big fights. You don't need Crawford. You see what I mean? But if you really want to know why the fight didn't happen, it's because Manny's people didn't want it to happen.
Yeah. How many times has happened? How many times has happened that you saw Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, all these barriers of these huge amount of money to fight Bud because these guys know there's a very good chance this might be my final payday. Manny knows that it's a cash out fight for him at 37, 38, 39 years of age. He's not stupid. He saw exactly what happened to the dude and who's the guy from Australia that he ended up beating for the title, Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn. So he knows what's coming for him.
Yeah, like look, it's simple. Like you don't like what kills me is that people get so comfortable in a thought process that they want to believe. You know, you can Google everything I'm saying and you'll find it. Bob went to Saudi Arabia. Don't interrupt me. Bob went to Saudi Arabia trying to get Manny the money, and he couldn't get it. $40 million? That's a lot. Now, did Manny ask for $40 million for the Thurman fight? No. Did he ask for $40 million for the Broner fight? No.
And what is that, Julius?
Hold on. Did he ask for $40 million for the Spence fight? No. But when it came to Crawford, he said he wanted $40 million. Now, Leo, why was that?
Because Terrence Crawford was about to retire, brutally retire Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, it was a dangerous
fight. Everyone knows it. Freddie Roach knows it. Manny Pacquiao knows it.
Manny's wife knows it.
Yeah.
Cash out.
Like none of this. It's like if y'all would stop going to these channels and listening to them and go to actual news sources. Now, I often post the news sources for you guys. For some reason, you don't want to listen to them. I'm like, yo, I've been did stories on this. He did not ask Errol or Al Haymon for $40 million, but when it came to Crawford, he wanted $40 million.
What does that say?
Bob for that.
What does that say? Freddie Roach, a Hall of Fame promoter or Hall of Fame trainer who's forgotten more about boxing than most people know. If those words come out of his mouth, then what does that say? A guy who's an elite trainer says those things. How do you dismiss that? But you can make a comment to say, oh well, Bob wouldn't pay him. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's silliness because I feel like King KO only said that because we talking about the purses, but it is the truth. Crawford got more money up front for Sean Porter than Errol, but Errol supposed to be the draw. Yet Crawford got more money up front, and y'all calling Bob cheap. Shakur Stevenson got $3 million for Robson Conceição, bro. $3 million. It's not that Bob is. Well, look, I'm gonna put it another way. Yes, Bob is cheap, but Bob will work harder to get something done than Al Haymon.
Julius,
that's a guarantee.
Promoter. Can I say something, Julius?
Guarantee.
Wait. Look, about Terrence Crawford. I've been watching Terrence Crawford for 4 years, and the people that are around Terrence Crawford, the quote-unquote big names.
Leo, wait. Please read that for me.
Why doesn't Chisora have to sign? by 5 p.m.
That's a good point.
Very good.
Okay, yeah.
Evo Dave, congratulations, brother.
Okay.
Oh shit, go ahead, Leo.
I've been watching Terence Crawford and the people who are around him, the quote unquote big names. And every time is time to talk about fighting Terence Crawford, there's two things that happen. They start sounding really funny, really scary, or they'll start talking about money. Huge paydays. 10 million, 20 million, 40 million. Look at Keith Thurman. Look at Danny Garcia's father.
Look at Jermel, who I'm a fan of. Crawford starts talking about Jermel, and Jermel tells him to go fight Erickson Lubin.
Come on, dude.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
You also
Same
forgot
old
to add
song
too
and
that Tyson Fury also got those huge paychecks to fight those stiffs between Wilder too. So Bob was giving all that money to Tyson Fury as well too. So you're talking about guys who are not getting paydays. Tyson's fighting dudes that have no name draw in the United States, and he was still giving them big fat paychecks.
They was losing money paying
Yeah,
that.
he basically robbed Top Rank.
Legit, if you really want to look at it. Bro, how much money did they waste on him fighting Tom Schwartz and Otto Verleen? Millions for him to fight them dudes. Even if, like, I don't know the exact purse amount, but I know that it was in the millions for Fury. And I'm like, bro, y'all paid this dude millions to fight this guy, and it didn't bring $1 million at the gate.
Well, he's not
Not $1 million.
He's not an American fighter, and he's fighting a non-American fighter. It was in America. It wasn't a really good, well thought out decision, honestly.
All right, now let me ask you a question, King KO. If he were to sign with Eddie, what super fight is Eddie gonna get him? With who? And I like Eddie, but I'm like, yo, you not making sense. The guys that Gervonta Davis would make money with at the box office, all of them are a Top Rank. Every single one of them. Loma, Shakur, Davin, Teofimo, and I guarantee you he would make more money. It's a given. Yeah, he'd make more money. Y'all stuck on the idea that y'all heard from YouTubers. Y'all not paying attention to actual news. You paying attention to YouTubers. That's the problem. They told you that Bob is cheap. Then why did Terrence get more money for Sean than Errol did? Why?
Sean got more as well.
Sean got more money for Crawford than he got for Errol, but Errol supposed to be the cash moo cow. He got 2 times as much money for Crawford that they say is not a draw than he got for Errol that's supposed to be a draw.
Well, since like my guess is that King KO probably loves sides of the street. Wouldn't it just make more sense for Tank to go to the correct side of the street and Top Rank? Isn't that what he should be promoting? Because we all know that it's Terrence's fault he didn't get the fight. He got froze out because he was on the wrong side of the street. So I hope and I assume that King KO probably feels the same way. So you should be rooting for Tank to go to the correct side of the street, which is signing with Top Rank, sir.
Shout out to Steve Munoz. Appreciate the Cash App donation. You didn't have to do that, but you did it. And I appreciate it. And all I'm saying is it's not complex. You have been fed narratives about Bob Arum that you still believe to this day, even though all the evidence is to the contrary. If Al Haymon was this generous benefactor of fighters, we'd have Crawford versus Spence already. We would have it. Simple. There's no Bob Arum in the picture. There's no Bob Arum. And you still can't do the fight. Y'all got money to offer Canelo, which we talked about, even though we understand why. But you also had money for Munguia. You had money for Munguia, but you don't have money for Bud. Why did Sean say, yo, I made more with the Crawford fight than that shit? He said that shit. Y'all gotta wake up, man. Y'all gotta wake up.
Ryan is not bigger than those guys, man.
Bro, all right, I'm gonna ask you a question. Is Ryan Garcia a PBC fighter? Is that fight even done? Is it done?
It is done.
He's not with Eddie Hearn either, so I don't understand his point.
He one of those, man. Like I don't know what to say. Like I'm getting impatient because I'm like, you saying all this so that Gervonta, he basically saying all this so that Gervonta don't go to Top Rank. But if he don't go to Top,
Bob doesn't keep fights in house. Al does.
Yeah, like you saying all that so that Gervonta don't go to Top Rank, but it's like, okay, so you don't want him to fight them people then, because Ellaby already said and Floyd already said that they're gonna keep everything in house with Davis. So,
Julius, by now it is not your job to educate the people who don't want to take 5 seconds out of their day to Google any of this stuff, man. That's not on you.
You know, because he's here and he's commenting. So I'm like, I don't understand how all this proliferation, like you have video, forget reading because a lot of motherfuckers don't know how to read. There's a video of Floyd saying this. Everything is going to be in house for Davis. Everything. So if you okay with him being where he at, it got to be because you don't want him to fight them people then. It got to be that you as a consumer, you don't want to see them fights then, because that's what that means. If he stay with Floyd, you don't get no Lopez fight, no Haney fight, no Loma fight, no Stevenson fight, and your hope is, oh, but maybe he'll fight Ryan. Oh, that's the only fight you want to see, Ryan? That's it?
But to go even farther, the real question should be asking is, why are you hoping these fights don't happen? As a boxing quote-unquote fan, are you a fan of boxing? Or are you a fan of
No, he's a
agenda?
fan of a dude, bro. He's a fan of a dude.
I mean, hey, let me ask you this: like, who has Ryan ever made $3 million for a fight?
No.
Not that
Who did?
Like the thing is that Ryan probably banks at or around that number, but not from the fight purse, from the sponsorships, from the endorsements. Overall, he's probably getting something akin to that, but not the purse. You see what I mean? That the purse ain't 3. The purse might be 1, but with all the other shit, yeah, he probably get around 3 because he has sponsorships and endorsements and shit like that. He does. He's the Gatorade kid, remember? He has them as a sponsor.
But who has made that at 135 per fight?
I know a guy named Shakur Stevenson has.
That's one. Who's the
At
other?
30.
Who's the other?
Motherfucking Devin Haney made 2.8.
There you go.
You know what?
But fighting Ryan will, give Tank more money somehow. So
the real shit is, look, the real shit is that King KO views Ryan as being the weakest link. Like, let me just cut through the bullshit. The real thing is that he views Ryan as being more beatable, so he's more comfortable with that fight. He doesn't like those other fights because the last thing he wants to see is a top-ranked fighter expose Gervonta for what he is.
But as a boxing fan, why do you care? Shouldn't you be just wanting the best fight?
He's not a boxing fan. He's a fan of
yeah, no,
the guy.
I'm aware of that. I'm just being facetious. I'm saying if these guys are
I
boxing
like
fans,
how facetious you're being. I like it.
You know what it is? I guarantee you he thinks that a debate is a competition to see who's right instead of wanting to listen to what other people have to
there's
say.
no look, read what it says. There's no debate. A debate has a point of contention, an actual debate. There is no point of contention. His promoter has made it clear. Devin and Shakur are off the table. So is Loma. Fights that are off the platform, they're off the table. Those won't happen. So that's not a debate. That's facts. There's no point of contention there. You either don't understand that or you don't want to.
Do you also, one thing too, sorry to interrupt. You know, the one thing that I also noticed too is the only person that they were unwilling to fight in-house again is Isaac Cruz, because Isaac Cruz actually was troubling. He could have potentially in a rematch could beat him. And you can tell by Tank's face, you can tell by all their words, they don't want nothing to do with him. So if they're going to avoid the guys outside of their in-house fighters, and now they're actively saying they don't want to fight other in-house fighters, what does that have to tell you as the consumer of this product? They want easy fights. They don't want any sort of problems, and they want to make as little money scamming people as they possibly can on these crappy cards.
It means YouTubers are next.
Pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes to that, because if you think about what is over there, like Gervonta Davis versus, say, Michelle Rivera, that's not box office, bro. Come on. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm Dominican, and I'm telling you, I don't give a shit about that fight. At this point, for a 27-year-old fighter that has campaigned at 3 separate weights, yeah, you're supposed to be fighting the Lopez's and Lomas. That's who you're supposed to be fighting, bro. You ain't supposed to be fighting these off-brand dudes, and that's all he fighting is off-brand dudes. And if it's not clear enough that Floyd don't want him to fight them people, it got to be because you're fucking retarded, King KO. It got to be because you're a retard. So click the link because I already put it in there.
Oh, shit.
I want to see this guy say something. I mean, come on, man. Stand on what you believe.
If you could look at that screenshot, and that's not even the only time that Floyd says something like that. Before that, I think it was after it was either after the Leo Santa Cruz fight or it was the Leo Santa Cruz fight. Floyd said it on camera, only in-house fights. That's what he said. So what else is there to discuss?
Can I say something, Julius?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, a PBC shield comes here and talks about Davis not wanting to move up to another promotional company, not fighting outside the PBC. Look, all that will make sense if Tank Davis will be making $400K, $500K. If that was the case, I will say, okay, no. Devin Haney has to sign with the PBC to have a fight. Teofimo has to cross the street. But dude, all these guys, all these PBC shields has to realize there are not that many. How do I know? Look at Gervonta Davis pay-per-view numbers. They are not there. You talk with 5 people that are fans of Gervonta Davis, and
that's true. True.
This guy has millions of fans. That's not the reality. The reality is he maybe those 100K, 150K pay-per-view. That's his market value, strongly related to Floyd Mayweather. Because
he had a good launch pad when he got with Floyd. Floyd was still very popular, and the fact that they were saying that he was Floyd's protege, it was a good angle to come at it. But at the end of the day, we got 2 people backstage. Like, clear it out, bro. I'm trying to get King KO on here. Clear it out, Shaw. Polo, Drew, clear it out, because I'm trying to get King KO on here. The point is that the numbers aren't changing. They're not getting better. So if you're happy, which is always my point, if you're happy with who he's fighting, because his promoter has made it very clear what you can expect. If you're happy with who he's fighting, then be happy, Because he ain't gonna fight them people. That I know. He's not. I said it 4 years ago. He's never gonna fight Lomachenko. Forget it. It's over for that. That's not happening. And he ain't going to fight Stevenson. It's going to be the same shit with him. It's going to be the same shit with Devin Haney. You're not going to fight none of them. So just, it is what it is.
Why are you worried about his legacy now at this point?
Yeah, I don't think Floyd and Leonard could have made it more clear, because they're the ones who said it. Like Leonard said it. Oh, well, Eddie, you made good money with Eddie, but we got to pay you what you weigh. It's like, bro, you just trying to find a creative way to say you're not going to pay him what he want, which is fine. I'm not expecting you to pay him what he want, because I know your fight is not that big a draw. So you're not going to put out the money that it takes to make that fight. The sad part, which is what we were talking about, is that someone else actually would. Someone else would. Yeah, like Tank, what you want? You want 3? You want 4? I got you. And Devin, what you want? You want 3 and 4? Okay, I got you. Like if it was, let's say that Devin was still with Matchroom, then yeah, it would make sense to go to Matchroom. Why? Matchroom would have Devin. They can pay for the fight. Easy. They can pay for the fight. But right now, Devin's at Top Rank, and Top Rank could pay for that fight. Of course they can.
Julius, it's not even that. It's not even the money. The PBC doesn't want to even make an offer, because they are afraid that Devin Haney actually take the offer, a low ball offer. He might take it.
That's true too.
He might take 1 million, 2 million on front and nothing more, just to get Tank Davis in the ring, because Devin Haney has been moving like that.
That's what he did with George. That's what he did with George. And he was making money. That's the other thing, that you can't pretend with Devin. You can't pretend that he wasn't making money, because Leonard said he was making money. He said they was getting great money over there. He said that on camera. So you can't pretend that Devin is this starving fighter that, he wasn't getting nothing, so of course he's going to say this and that. No, he was getting money. He's still getting money. And he has options, which is why the Tank thing, it's kind of like pointless. Like, we on the eve of either Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko or Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko, depending on what happens after the George fight. If Devin decides to move up, okay, then we get Stevenson versus Lomachenko, which is fine. You could put that on pay-per-view. I'd buy it. You know what I mean? If it's Devin, you could put that on pay-per-view. I'd buy it. But I ain't bought a Gervonta Davis pay-per-view yet.
Nope. And why is that?
He don't fight shit, bro. He don't fight shit.
I'm not buying his foregone conclusion fights.
Yo, if you told me, and this is once again, this is the sad part. If you told me Davis versus Lopez on pay-per-view, absolutely I would buy that. If you told me Davis versus Stevenson, Haney, Loma, absolutely I would buy that, because there is a market there for Davis. But what you mad at is that when he fight, all we say is, oh, well, that's garbage, and we not buying it. And then the numbers don't look good, and then you get mad at me for saying, well, the numbers don't look good. His numbers stay in the same place all the time, at or around 2. You ain't hit 3 yet. You've been on pay-per-view 4 times, bro. You ain't hit 300,000 yet. It's not gonna get better because you need people like us to pay, and we're not gonna pay for that trash. Sorry.
Unless you do a fight we want to see when you ain't getting my money for real.
And unfortunately,
you could buy some cheap ass tickets at the Barclays, to be there, because the tickets to his fights don't cost shit. What is it, like $35 to $75? But they don't cost no money to go to a Davis fight.
And
but I don't think people realize how glaringly alarming that this statement is for Mayweather. I mean, you got a Hall of Fame fighter, right? Guy who telling his. I mean, if anything, if he was confident, he put him in with. Oh no, he would have said instead, "No, I want him to fight Tank and Shakur. He needs to prove himself." Those are the fights he needs.
You know what they do? They pretend that there's no money in those fights, which is even more detrimental, I would say. They pretend that there's no money in a Haney fight. Listen, if 200,000 people paid to see you fight Rolly, that or better would pay to see you fight Devin. Yes.
More people would pay. More
people would pay to see that fight, or Lomachenko, or Stevenson, or Lopez. But what Leonard Ellerby likes to do is he likes to pretend that, oh, there's no value in them. That's bullshit. There's plenty of value in them fights.
Why don't you just send your guy over to the other guy's promotional company? They'll cover it.
No, not even that. If you don't want to do that, which is what I've maintained, which I can even understand, if you saying that Davis is our top draw and we're not going to send him to you, okay, cool. Then pay. If he's such a big draw, pay for the other guy to come to you. You don't want to do that neither.
They don't have the money.
Reminds me of the Tevin Farmer situation.
Exactly. Like if you don't want to send him out, I could understand that. Like it's kind of like the Charlo Andre thing that I said that, okay, if Eddie Hearn, if you don't want to send Jamal to the zone, cool. Are you willing to have Andre come to you? And y'all still said no. So it's like, okay, then y'all don't want to fight then. It's not complicated. If you don't want to send him out, but you don't want to bring the other guy over, you don't want to fight.
Jules, has the King popped in to educate us? Because I would love to hear.
Nah, he still hasn't. I don't know what he's waiting for. I'll post the link again.
Yeah, ask if he can get on here and educate us about fighting. Because when he was talking, he was saying in there about how he was talking facts, and I clearly don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I want someone to come in here who has knowledge, and I want them to educate me.
Julius, I have a question. When Floyd Mayweather said that there's only going to be in-house fights for Tank Davis, when was the time after what fight?
I believe that was after the it wasn't the Romero fight. I believe it was after the Santa Cruz fight. That's when I think that was.
After the
After the Santa Cruz fight.
Look, when I think people they are not reading everything in that statement. Floyd Mayweather is not just saying there's going to be only in-house fights for Tank Davis. They are also saying, look, if you want to fight with Tank Davis, it's not going to happen. We are not even sit on the negotiation table to discuss it. It's not going to happen. Why? Probably because Tank Davis has been looking like shit lately. Not really that good. For me, the Isaac Cruz fight exposed him like he is dangerous but limited. So now I can see a bunch of fighters, top guys and not top ranked guys, that say, look, I have a chance. I have a chance to beat Floyd Mayweather's protege. So I'm going to take the fight. You can sit me in the negotiating table and
I'll take what they offer.
Whatever, because I know I can beat him. And Floyd Mayweather saw that and said, no, we're not going to let that my promotional companies think.
Listen, remember, he's all they have. What else do they have? What, Rolly Romero? Think about it. Tank has another fight coming up. Where's Rolly? Where's his next fight? He hasn't even rebounded off the knockout yet. You're not making no money with that kid. They don't have another fighter or a younger fighter that they're grooming to also be a draw. Tank is 27. That's not young in boxing. No, that's not young, especially if you've been here since you was, 20 something, 21, around there? That's not young in boxing. So if the story is, okay, this is our top draw, we're not going to send him to you. Literally, I could understand that. Like, no, I get it. If because he's all you have, I could sympathize with that. But the fact that you're not willing to pay out to bring fighters over, that's also, it's like, well, then you don't want him to fight anybody.
Well, they're not making any efforts to get any more fighters, though, either.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I was going to say, I don't sympathize with that because it shows that you're not willing to develop another fighter. You don't have the savvy to promote a fighter and to turn them into superstars. So I don't sympathize. So that means you have a bad business model. You should just let them go.
Let me say this, Julio. The reason, maybe sympathize is the wrong word, because I look across the landscape. You know, Bob doesn't want to send Artur to DAZN. It's a reality. He doesn't want to do that, right? Eddie is not just going to let one of his guys, not just any one of his guys, go anywhere. He's not going to do that any more than Bob would, any more than they would. So I'm like, okay, I get it. And Bob and to Leonard Ellerby, Davis is all he has. He has nothing else to supplement that with. So if the story is, okay, well, I'm not going to send my top draw out to be content for you, I can understand that. But if he's as big a draw as you say he is, there's no excuse for you not to make a fight. There's no excuse. You say he's a top draw, the biggest name in lightweight, then you should be able to pay for all of these fights easy. All of them. But you can't. When Devin was a free agent, after the Jojo Diaz fight of late last year, there were like 5 months that you could have did a fight with him because he wasn't with nobody. Did you try? No. So you're not going to send him out. You're not going to bring nobody in. What's the point? Then what is the point of your career? Who are you fighting? Now let me read the super chats. What if Devin Haney moves up and fights Josh Taylor? That's a big what if, because I don't know what Josh is going to do after Catterall. I think PBC is trying to create a farm system that is comparable to Top Rank. Instead of doing cross-promotion fights, this is why they're procuring belts. The plan is to work all those fighters up for Gervonta Davis to eat. That's not far-fetched. For example, I could see Gervonta versus Alberto Puello at 140 pounds.
Yep.
Why? Alberto Puello has the WBA title, the main one. He has it. He won it. You know what I mean? Now, here's the problem. Is fighting Alberto Puello for the WBA a bigger fight than fighting Devin for Undisputed?
No.
Is it bigger than Ryan?
No.
Is it bigger than Lopez?
Nope.
Is it bigger than Stevenson?
Nope.
Is it bigger than Loma?
No. Because Jules, who knows who Alberto Puello? Who knows who the fuck that guy is?
Nobody know. Yo, listen, it's people in the Dominican Republic who don't know that man. All right?
I never
TR
heard of him
got some
before.
nice fighters out right now, though.
Bro, I'm Dominican. I get it, but I'm being real. That if we talking about which is the bigger fight, Alberto Puello for the WBA compared to them, bro, all of them are bigger fights than Alberto Puello. Every single one of those fights is a bigger fight than a Puello fight, even though Puello has a title. But I don't disagree with Aaron that, yeah, I do think that's what they're doing. It makes perfect sense. Alberto Puello is not of the ilk of a Regis Prograis. He's not. He's not a Chong Cepada. He's not. He's not a Josh Taylor. He's not even really a Jack Catterall. I look at Puello as being underneath them because who did you beat? Someone please tell me, who did he beat?
I think Subriel Batiz is a cut above that guy.
Yeah, he is.
Tank isn't gonna fight him.
I think KO ran from you like he owed you money, bro.
Oh, I mean, that's messed up. I posted the link for him. I did
King KO.
He's not interested in coming on and saying anything.
Well, he idolizes. Well, look, birds of a feather, right? He idolizes duckers. So what he gonna do? Quack.
Yep.
Jules, let me ask you. You is like all the PBC had was for the Canelo plant situation. All they had to do to save money is just to send Caleb to the zone, because I'm sure that's honestly. Let's just say you were running the PBC, the books, the finances. Like, okay, what's more costly, effective? Us doing a fight here and paying Canelo all this guaranteed money, or just sending my guy over there and we ain't got to pay shit.
Well, this is the other thing. Their problem is the problem that they have lies in the conflict of interest of Al Haymon. That because Al Haymon isn't just an advisor, he's not just the manager. He literally brokers deals with networks. He has to provide them content, and the network might be upset that he sends a fighter out. But that's the nature of the problem. That's why he doesn't really want to send anybody out, because it's like, well, I have to provide content for my network affiliate. I don't really sympathize with him, to be honest with you. I think he's a crook. I wholeheartedly believe he's a crook. But at the end of the day, that is the nature of the problem. That if you have a deal with Stephan Espinoza, you know Stephan wants a Canelo fight. You got to deal with Fox. You know Fox wants certain fights and shit like that. Don't forget that originally Canelo versus Plant was supposed to go to Fox, but they saw what it was going to cost and was like, you know what, y'all can have that shit. Go back. Y'all can have that shit.
I remember Caleb said it was going to be on Fox.
Bingo. He said right here on Fox. Remember that?
I remember.
Right here on Fox.
After the Truax fight, the post-fight interview. Yep, right here on Fox.
And originally, Fox was gonna do the pay-per-view until Canelo want 40 M's. And Fox, they already had a wavering commitment, like, nah, we ain't about to do that. So y'all can have that. And then it ended up going to Showtime.
Click the link, King KO. We're waiting.
I don't think he's there.
He is.
I'm looking. Where is he?
He said no, right below the link. He says, "No duck, I'm here."
Okay, then let's get on. Let's go.
I just don't think he's interested in
These are my favorite segments.
Probably not coming on. Probably not going to come on.
Someone's about to be humiliated.
I think he's more just wants to say things in the chat.
That's kind of how it seems. It's like I don't think he wants to be recorded.
Because Jules, if you get him, I'm going to post it on Twitter. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, like if he doesn't want to be recorded, because once it gets recorded, it's going to end up on Instagram. It's going to end up on Twitter. It's not just going to be here. So look, it is what it is. He could jump on, he could not jump on. But ultimately, the bottom line, Davis is not going to fight. I said it 4 years ago. He's never going to fight Lomachenko. Never. He's never going to fight Devin Haney or none of these guys, none of these young, exciting fighters, the other ones that are out there. He's never going to fight any of them. And I'm like, look, that's okay, because I don't buy your fights anyway. So don't fight them. You're not holding nothing up, which is the beautiful part. Devin is undisputed. He has all the belts that matter, so go ahead, keep fighting them people, and I'm going to keep not buying that shit.
That's why I don't even care if Ryan or Tank fight each other, because it's not like it's a relevant fight in the weight class, is it?
That's what I'm saying. If they fight, I'm not going to lie. If they were to make the fight, yeah, I'd buy the fight. That's a good little fight. It's a good little intriguing fight. But if they don't fight,
I don't care.
Hey, King, why don't you tell me how this is top right?
The fucking cat is like,
the categories with us.
He says this is a top ranked love fest.
Tell me how that is.
Come on here and say that. Come on here and say that.
Well, it's okay. If that's his opinion, I don't have an issue. Just defend why PBC is a good product to buy. Convince me why I should be giving them money. I have no issue. If you have a reasonable takes to disprove what we're saying, then I'm more than happy. You know what? I'll tell you what. If you can prove it, I'll buy a PBC fight for you. But explain to me why it's a good product. I should invest my money.
We know you streaming shit.
That's a good deal, bro. Like, motherfucker, send you the pay-per-view for Wilder versus Helenius, because that shit is next. Thanks. That shit is this Saturday.
You know what,
Jules, we know you stream that shit, so you might as well just come up here.
I mean, Jules, him and Dirk are living in the same 2-studio apartment.
Oh shit! Well, because what they really get mad at is that motherfuckers is openly saying we not gonna buy none of that shit. Like even if it wasn't falling the same day as Devin's fight. Admittedly, I would have bought Wilder's fight, but it's falling the same day as Devin's fight, and there's already a card happening that day that I care more about than any of those two cards, and that's Shields and Marshall.
There you go.
But even
we get that for free. We get that for free. We ain't got to pay for that.
We ain't got to pay for that.
If you're willing to buy that product, that's fine. But the thing is, you can at least admit, besides you being a boxing holic and you have issues, you can admit though that it's not a $75 fight, though, right? It's clearly not a $75 investment.
I mean, look, to be completely honest with you, right? Like, the main thing that services as a deterrent for me right now buying Wilder versus Helenius is I feel, as a consumer, I'm getting a better card at no additional charge, and that's Shields and Marshall. That is literally a fight where I'm like, yo, Clarissa might win, Savannah might win. I'm getting Baumgartner and Mayo on the undercard. I'm like, I'm literally way more excited about that card than Haney versus Kambosos 2 and Wilder versus Helenius. My mind is made up about those fights. I'm like, Wilder going to knock him out, man. Helenius got knocked out by Gerald Washington. Wilder's going to knock him out.
His former sparring partner. Of course he's going to lose.
Yeah.
It's like should we have to pay for that? Come on now.
Yeah, I know. And with Devin, even though I'm going to watch it, I'm definitely going to watch it. But I'm like, come on, B. What the fuck is George? What the fuck is he gonna do, bro? Like, what are you gonna do differently?
Absolutely nothing.
If anything, you might get knocked out this time because he know you now. You might get knocked. Like, you never know.
So
I'm like,
now Devin stops him this time.
He ain't gonna have him in the second fight. I mean,
like it does. There's certain things that they just don't make sense to me. That not only am I getting two other cards at no additional charge that same day, and one is running at the same time as the Wilder card, but it's like it's Wilder and Helenius. If you told me it was Wilder and Ruiz, hand on heart, I'd buy the fight. Hand on heart. Even if it were the same night. Even if it were the same night as Haney and Kambosos too, I would, because I'm like, no, that's a box office fight. Battle of the former champions, a dude that's never been knocked out. AJ couldn't knock him out. Ortiz couldn't knock him out. Parker couldn't knock him out. And he and there, yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. But it's Wilder and Helenius, bro.
Jules, look at super chat.
Thought it be a short.
Well, bro, don't let us stop you. Go ahead.
Don't let me stop you, bro.
What's stopping?
Don't let me stop you, bro. Shit, get that. But being real, like, I'm not averse. Like, I thought that the first Wilder versus Ortiz fight, for example, the first one, that was a great fight. Honestly, hand on the first one, that was a great fight. The second one was pointless. But the first one was a great fight. You know, it's not like, yeah, but Wilder is a mildly interesting fighter. Another potential pay-per-view. If you told me Wilder versus Joyce or Wilder versus Dubois, I'd buy those fights.
That we cooking.
I would buy those fights. But no, I'm not buying Wilder versus Helenius. You got to be real sentimental. I think personally, and I've said it before, I think it's going to do okay at the box office. I think it'll do between 3 and 4, but I'm not buying that shit. And I'm not buying no Javante. And he hasn't gotten my money yet, bro. I have bought Spence versus Porter. I bought the Charlo doubleheader. I bought more this year. Spence versus. I bought that shit. Spence and Ugas. It ain't that I ain't gonna buy it because it's PBC. It gotta be worth it. Most of the shit they do, it's not worth it, bro. It's a lot of it is trash. To be real with you.
Last one I bought was Plant Canelo, so I buy it. Shit.
Yeah, like if the fight is good, I don't give a shit. Like if you told me, okay, let's say Crawford versus Thurman, PBC pay-per-view, co-main event is Stanionis versus Ennis, I'm buying it.
Yep,
I'm buying it. Or co-main event, if the co-main event, and I'm being reasonable, if it's Stanionis Mean Machine, I'm buying it. Because I need to see Thurman get knocked out. I need to see that. I need that. Or even if you told me Ennis versus Thurman on pay-per-view, $50 price point, like they did for Ruiz and Areola, that it was like, it wasn't 70, it wasn't 80, it was like 50 or around there. If you told me $50 to see Jaron Ennis knock out Keith Thurman, I'm buying it. I need that. All right, I need that. But you can't do And what's the co-main event for Wilder versus Helenius? What's the co-main? Plant versus Direct.
Who gives a fuck, Julius?
Is anybody?
Fuck about that.
Is
Let's just
anybody
file
in
it
this
under. Let's
chat?
file it under. Who gives a shit?
Is anybody in this chat gonna buy that fight? About the Wilder fight? Is anybody in here gonna buy that?
No.
Nope.
Nay.
That's what I thought.
If I'm telling you, if it wasn't for and oh my god, I just realized there's actually another fight on the undercard of Devin Haney versus George Kambosos.
Sugar
Neeks versus Susie Rama. I'm like, yo, it's good fights that I'm getting as a paying customer that they don't cost me nothing extra. And I'm like, and you want for Plant versus Darrell? That's the co-main?
Yeah.
Bro, that's a prelim fight, bro. That should be on YouTube.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Now, while they get slept, I'm gonna wish I bought it. I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie, but I ain't gonna front. You right, Jay. But
You said that's a street beef fight.
yo, that's bum fights, bro.
I just want to know in what world somebody thinks that two former champions that got knocked out in brutal fashion is worth $80. Somebody please tell me.
Bro, I don't even.
I want King to come in and tell me how it is.
The world will never know.
You ain't lying, bro.
I'm telling you, like it's like this. What the PBC is doing, and this is how I know they're in trouble. They're spreading everything very thin. What should be on an undercard ends up a main event. What should be a co-main still ends up being a main. You have enough there, I see, that you have the raw materials there to do a really strong card, but you don't want to gamble it because it's too expensive. Like, to me, the ideal thing to do, especially if you're Showtime, you need Jaron Ennis to cross over. Pay Keith what you got to pay Keith and get him in that ring so Ennis can knock him out. But you haven't done that yet. And Ennis has only fought for, Steve Kim said it last time he was here, 4 minutes this whole year. 4 minutes. That's ridiculous.
Well, I think they're going to try to save Keith for Danny Garcia at 154.
Oh, they're
trying to stretch his last few years.
Oh, God, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I want to see that, bro. Nobody. You know what I would pay to see? Danny Garcia versus Brian Castano. I would pay to see that because I know Brian is going to beat the fucking shit out of him, bro. Beat the shit out of him, bro. All right? You got to put these old dogs and these old horses to pasture, and they don't want to do it. Anybody else would do it. Like, listen, bro, we'll put you in a good fight that has a good purse, but it's against this person. You see what I mean? We'll put you in some shit. We'll put some money in your pocket, but it can't be for no bullshit ass fight, bro, because we got to make money too over here, bro. This a business, bro. You wildin'. Especially, go ahead.
Let me ask you something, Julius. In a perfect world, because there's no other world this is going to exist, would you pay to see Benavidez versus Charlo at 168?
Yes, because I believe Benavidez would put him in the hospital.
Same.
And look. A big part of the reason you don't see me complain too much about the third Wilder pay-per-view, even though Frankie Sanchez just ruined that shit, bro. Like, he should have been on the YouTube portion of the card or whatever, the prelim. Like, that dude, don't put that dude close to the main event because Helenius versus Kovnowski too, that was great. That was a nice, just one-sided, fucking you up, you bleed, and they need to stop this kind of fight. Great build-up, for a main event. And here comes this boring ass motherfucker and his jab. Like, don't put him on shit, bro. Like, I don't want to watch him. I think by now, they know nobody want to watch that dude, bro. All right? Nobody want to see that shit. If you're not going to go in there trying to take a motherfucking head off, get him out of the co-main.
Well, put him on the YouTube, Carlos Negron.
Put him on the YouTube portion of the card, bro. The non-televised portion of the card. But they have enough there that you should be able to get decent looking cards and undercards, and you're not even getting that. Why? Because they can't afford to put it on, bro. They can't afford to put it on. I get better prelim fights than I get PBC main events. Go ahead, Leo.
I think sacrificing the old blood will make sense if they're having new blood coming in, and I don't think that's happening really. I think they're playing their cards like a company that is ready to take off after a couple of years.
I feel inclined to agree because they haven't gotten rid of Danny Garcia. You see what I mean? They haven't gotten rid of him. You know what would have made sense? What would have made sense? Tim Tszyu versus Jermell Charlo. It doesn't make sense right now. It doesn't.
Julius,
honestly, it doesn't. Danny Garcia versus Tim Tszyu at 154. That would have made sense.
Julius, they haven't get rid of Victor fucking Ortiz. Victor Ortiz is still fighting.
They try to throw Victor Ortiz out like, yo, no, there's money in that. What are you doing?
Bro, they still got Riverside Rocky running around, bro. Riverside Rocky still. Abner Mares fought 2 weeks ago.
Yo, they pulled him out the freezer.
Danny Garcia would not want any part of Tim Tszyu. I'm telling you, him and
money for the right money. This is
Tszyu.
Let me put it to you this way:
the fight, man. That him and Fundora is the fight.
Let me tell you why. What Tim Tszyu has going on, right? Tim's guarantee, or at least the money that he stands to make, is not limited to what the PBC offers. Back in his in Australia, Foxtel, I believe it is, or whoever, it would be a pay-per-view over there. So he could get money off of that, but also what the PBC gives him. And Danny, here's $2 million, B. This dude hasn't fought nobody. Go ahead. And if you get resistance, okay, then we don't have nothing for you, bro. We don't have nothing at all. So you better go to Top Rank or Matchroom because we don't have nothing else for you. If you don't want to fight this dude, that's what's supposed to be going on. That if you're not willing to play ball to be in fights that will get us metrics, then you need to hit the road and see if you can get a better offer from someone else. You know, see if you and if it were like that, then you could get fights like Conor Ben versus Danny Garcia. You see what I mean? Or Virgil Ortiz versus Danny Garcia. But because they keep protecting these guys and they don't want to fucking do nothing with these guys, it just fucks everything up. They're like, fam, Danny should not be out here fighting no Benavidez, first of all. You should be fighting Virgil Ortiz's, Jaron Ennis's, Conor Ben's, or Tim Tszyu's. Those are the kind of people, because you're a former champion and you're a 2-division champion, you have a name and people would want to see you fight Tim Tszyu. But you out here fighting Benavidez, bro. Nobody care about that shit.
Right, but I think it's also antithetical to their business model because they probably see Danny Garcia as like a rag and they're trying to wring as much as they can out of him. So if they put him in against Tszyu, there's a chance he'll get drowned, and then they can't make the fucking Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman 5 years down the line. So
the first fight didn't need a fucking like the first fight wasn't. Yo, look, Pitufo Diaz versus didn't he fight Navarrete? Pitufo Diaz.
He did.
That fight was way better than Thurman versus Garcia, bro. Zapata versus Baranchik, way better than Thurman. That shit don't need a rematch, bro. That shit was lukewarm, bro. That shit was a bus seat. Nobody need to see that shit again.
Because I don't know if y'all caught the interview with Keith Thurman where he was saying, shout out to Queen Lisa Bells. She said it to me. Jamie Mitchell was hosting a live stream and Keith was on that shit with a couple other guys. And he was just talking shit, talking like, dude is just such God. I can't stand this guy. Like he just acts like he's the Keith Thurman.
No. But whose live was it?
Oh, Jamie Mitchell. I think it was she was hosting it. I think.
Oh,
she was on
okay.
Yeah, and Keith just was talking so much shit, like talking about like Crawford who hasn't fought within a year. I'm like, what the fuck was your excuse for not fighting for 2.5 after the Pacquiao? Like, is this dude serious? I mean, my God, man. Like, God, I wanted to get knocked out so bad. I just had it with
Keith. You know what's sad? That he might not never get knocked out, bro. Because look at how it is. He fights. He fought Barrios. Yeah, and it don't look like he gonna fight again this year.
Nah,
Danny fought Benavidez. All safe fights.
They literally brought up guys who are in the weight class below up to their weight. That's what they did.
That's it. So and the fact that you still even using these guys, you posting at this point, as cold-blooded as it is, you're supposed to give them an ultimatum that, like, look, we got Stanionis. He needs somebody to fight. We need to get him a good fight so he calmed down because he wants his title shot. So, Keith, Do you want Stanionis or you want Ennis? It's either or. You want Stanionis or you want Ennis? If you don't want neither, hit the road. Same to you, Danny. If you don't want either, hit the road. Because we don't have
by both. He gets battered by both.
I pay for both.
You know what I mean? That's
where
it's.
I love to get Keith.
That's where it's supposed to be at, and you see how like look, Chong Sepada, you know, he's been fighting on Top Rank and he's had some good fights on there, but you don't see nobody stopping him from fighting Regis, right? Ain't nobody stopping him. Like, bro, if you want to get that, go get that, and we about to get a good fight out of that. It ain't all this bitch assness that we see with Keith, and then it's like, bro, y'all a waste of time, bro. Y'all need to just retire already, so motherfuckers stop interviewing y'all. Because the shit is stupid. Motherfuckers is doing mad interviews, not fighting nobody.
Because like you got Chong Cepeda, right? He's like, man has never been a world champion. That's correct, right? Never been a world champ. He's out here taking risky fights, taking on motherfuckers who will call him out. He's doing shit a world champion should be doing. And he ain't even got no belt. Never been a champion.
The good fights that we get at the PBC be the oddball fights. Because yesterday was an oddball fight.
Yep.
Like Adames is not someone that they're necessarily pushing. But we got a nice fight out of that, though. We really like it. Yeah, it was a good fight. It was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Martinez versus Ancajas.
The rematch. That was good. That was good.
It was okay, you know, and Fundora Ocampo, that was okay. Zoo versus Gachet, that was okay. But when it comes to the guys that's supposed to be the PBC guys, what we getting? Benavidez. We getting Barrios. It's like, fam, y'all gotta cut them dudes loose, man. Y'all wasting money and resources on them. Cut them. That money could have went to some other shit. Whatever y'all paid to do that show, it could have went to some other shit.
Jules, they're on their way out and they know it. they know it.
As a fan, it just boils my blood because there's so much potential and they're not willing to do it, whether by budget or, you know, whatever contract restraints. Who knows at this point?
But see, this how ass Thurman is. Brooke done retired, had a big money fight, done retired, and he's set to come out of retirement because he want more. And you can't get Keith to do shit. You cannot get him to do shit, bro. No Ennis, no Ortiz, no Stanionis, no Butaev, no nothing, bro. Nothing. It's like, bro, why is this dude still here then?
Jules, is like you said, it's like, all right, you got to fight either Stanionis or Boots. You got to hit the road. Period. That's it. We ain't got nothing for you other than those two.
This is realistic. Luis Puente says, wouldn't be surprised Thurman versus Broner. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised either.
Fuck around.
Yeah, that's some dark energy right there.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, they got Riverside Rocky out. They pulled Abner Mares out of cryo sleep.
Good Lord. Like,
and he gassed out after 2-3 rounds. Remember, he gassed out, like he looked okay in the beginning, and then he gassed out after 3. It's like, fam, like y'all can't be serious with this shit. So, and what y'all gonna do next? Luis Ortiz versus Ali Demirezin?
So wait, you're telling me
$90 pay-per-view.
Bro, you think Thurman would really fatter the elderly to get out of fighting one of these guys? That's fucking hilarious, man.
I tell you, bro, like that dude is just such a waste of space. And it wouldn't be so bad if he didn't bump his gums so much. Like, yo, fam, you really talking like you doing some shit. You went the distance with Mario Barrios. Javante knocked him out. You could not knock him out.
I mean, he talking about like
that's Polo.
Wow, they still have Devin Alexander too.
Bro, they had Thomas Dulorme fighting. Thomas Dulorme. Not that long ago for Jaron Ennis. That was late last year. That's crazy.
I'm looking at the roster now. Alfredo Angulo. Like, this is crazy. Andre Berto.
I have a question. What's next for Robert Guerrero? I am really excited for his comeback.
Hey, Victor Ortiz rematch.
Oh my God. The sad part is, bro. The sad part is you can't put it past them because they literally gave Abner Mares a fight, knowing he only has one good eye, and they really gave him a fight.
Yo, they have Luis Collazo. They probably have the oldest roster in boxing right now.
Bro.
It's a retirement home out
Probably
here.
gonna pull Samuel Peter out of retirement, bro. Probably gonna pull him out of retirement.
Nah, he's too dangerous. You gotta remember, he can punch, so he might fuck around and
Like, son, like at the end of the day, it's more of the same. It's like whenever we broach the subject, and let me put it in a sentence. As a product, I don't feel that it has a future. I don't look at them and see a future. When I look at Matchroom, I see Mark Castro, very young fighter. I see Ammo Williams. I see Bam Rodriguez. I see young guys that you know, because they got a couple of young guys. It's not just Smith. They got Pacheco, Dalton Smith, Joe Cordino when he comes back. They literally have another line of guys, not including, you know, Dillian White and Andy John. They have another line of guys that they already bringing them through. When I look at Top Rank, obviously we talk about their young guys all the time because they got the best line of young guys. And when I look at Pete, I'm like, what y'all got? Frank Martin? What y'all got?
He's Tank's age, and they're like hyping him up to be like one of the next guys up. Like that dude is 27. Like,
there's nobody on that roster.
I swear to God, I didn't know that.
Who do they have on that roster? I mean, after all these old dudes age out, who's coming? Who's behind him?
Bro, they still got James Kirkland on their roster.
Bro, because Stanionis is with Richard Schaefer, for those that don't know. You know, he's not a Haymon fighter. Jaron Ennis is not a Haymon fighter. You see what I mean? That if I just look like what y'all got of young people that y'all, I was going to say Rayo, but he got Rayo'd. So forget him. Damn, who they got?
No, yo, Julius, I was gonna tell you, a lot of them fighters, I found this out. Some of them are, but some of them have 5x5 bases. So, like, they can, like example, that Martinez kid, he's just fighting there because, you know, they gave him those fights. Jarwin and Caja, that's why he was gonna fight Yoka. Like, they don't got nobody. They just got Tank. That's it. And if Tank loses and Spence loses, it's over. Like, that's why they take this fight and he loses. You know, it's pretty much, it's gonna be hard because, you know, Wilder already lost. Spence is, you know, you don't got a lot of left, and it's just Tank. It's just Tank Davis.
You're like everybody else. Even, you know, Golden Boy they got Zepeda, who's fighting JoJo, not that far from now. He's a young, exciting guy. They got Ortiz, very young, exciting guy. He's very exciting. And Golden Boy doesn't have the biggest stable, but even they have some flag bearers.
Mongia, Correll, they got that Rocha. I don't hold them. If you lose a decision,
pero Rocha, sin embargo, sin un cinturón. Yeah, Rocha is okay. Like, he's fun. He beat the shit out of Blair Cobbs. You see what I mean?
Like, even the young guys on PBC, like David Morrell, like he's like 7-0. He's only fighting twice a year, so it's like.
And
where's
how,
the longevity?
How old is he?
He's 24, so he's like starting to enter his beginning of his prime.
But bro, they're not gonna make him fight any of the guys. Like, you gotta understand, because they have an amateur. Like, they're just gonna make him fight like fringe contenders, and then until like maybe 15 fights. The thing is, like, I don't know. See, I'm just saying, like they're not gonna have him fight any of the top guys. It's just gonna be him fighting, you know, until like.
I think so, bro. I think that. Don't be surprised if we get like Morrell Truax. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah, those are something like that, or like him versus Steve, him versus Abeko. Like Abeko, there's a super. Like, he'll fight guys that are like mid contenders, bro. They're not gonna throw him in there with the top guys because, like, dog, it's a different level. Like, I don't want to use.
It's not even the level. It's no. It's not even the level. It's the money. It's the money that if you want to do, vamos a decir que you wanted to do como. Vamos a decir, David Morrell con Caleb Plant. Eso va a costar dinero. It will. It will.
And the thing is, bro, like, if Plant beats him, people are just going to say, I'm not going to say it's not going to, you beat a prospect.
It's like, don't even think about what happens after the fight, because the question is, well, you have several 168-pounders. Why are they not fighting? That's the question. The money. Caleb's not going to fight somebody like that for peanuts. No, come on, no. He's coming off a knockout.
How much is he getting for what's his name, Darrell?
It's
Probably,
Terrell.
no, probably. No, he'll get compensated because Darrell, like, believe it or not, it's a two-time
Is he gonna get $1
champion.
million?
Whether probably he'll get that, bro, because you
He's
gotta remember
co-main. He is co-main, so maybe you'll get $1 million.
Listen, so they're gonna. I'm gonna explain to you. So they're gonna give him that, confiscate him because he's coming off a Canelo fight. He defended his title. He kept it. He made weight. He defended against ranked opponents, meaning top 10. Like, they're gonna confiscate him. Like, now after that, we'll see. Like, who he ends up fighting. He would have to fight like a Charlo, Benavidez, Uskagi rematch, like somebody that has like a champion. When it's a champion, they get compensated because it's still a name. Whether if you think
No, a lo mejor él pelea. Mira, a lo mejor él pelea con Benavidez. El lío es, eso no va a ser este año. That's not gonna be this. That's not gonna be this year.
Not even gonna, bro. I'll tell you the play. It's not even gonna be next year. What's gonna end up happening is he'll end up fighting some undefeated contender. Maybe a good name, maybe like one of the Demetrius Alita guys, and then he'll end up fighting some he's not gonna fight Benavidez unless it's for a unification this time or the actual title.
Let me read the super chats because they're piling up. They're gonna summon the ghost of Saddam.
Oh, shit! Damn.
Woo! Luis Puente says the ghost of the ghost of the ghost versus Thurman. Yeah.
Hey, yo, fellas, y'all want to see something beautiful?
Go ahead.
Get a look at this.
Let me see. Hold up. Let me see. Hold up. I'm trying to blow the joint up.
Bro,
don't be.
You're torturing me right now. Damn it! I can't eat.
All right.
What is that? What brand
That's
is
sausage
that?
pizza, bro. That's a sausage pizza. Let me read the super chat. Glacier once said, Heyman's a very hard-headed person to deal with. PBC looks bad from all angles. That's what Lou DiBella said also. He said he's a control freak. That's what Lou DiBella said about 2 years ago.
He said who's a control freak?
Al Haymon.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Hey,
I'm shocked.
Yeah, there's no
Ring.
shock there.
Hey, Ring, I'm gonna tell you something. I have a feeling because I think next year we're most likely gonna get the Uskagi plant rematch because Uskagi is the Sean Gibbons, like whatever he is. Isn't he a manager? What is he? We'll get that rematch.
You know what he is? He's the president of he's the acting guy of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, because when you see Sean Gibbons, that's the company that he represents, Manny Pacquiao Promotions.
But why does he have other fighters from different nationalities? I'm
Pero tú no ves que muchos de los Sean Gibbons fighters, they're from the Philippines because Manny Pacquiao Promotions, bro. Ancajas, Casimero. Meno Isaac, que he's from Mexico. You know what I mean? But a lot of the Filipino fighters, that's who Sean Gibbons manages mostly. Not all, but mostly. Because Isaac Cruz is also his fighter.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, how about Bronco Lara though? Bronco Lara does work with them. That's the thing. He's not with Pacquiao. He's with Matchroom / but what Bronco Lara is with Sean Gibbons. That guy that fought Bam is with Sean Gibbons.
Listen, I don't know if Bronco is with Sean Gibbons. I just know that he fights on the zone and his next fight is on the zone. So it's hard. In other words, this is the thing. You're saying he's with Sean. Sean is Manny Pacquiao Promotions. As far as I know, Bronco Lara's promoter is Eddie Hearn.
No, but I think his manager is Sean. That's the thing, because have you noticed when Bam fought that dude, Sean was in his corner. When Lara fought, not this match, but one of the previous, he was in his corner. Like, you just keep if he's in his corner. I don't know if he'll be in his corner, but you notice that, and he's with Uskagi too. Like that's what I'm saying. So like him being, I'm telling you, man, don't be surprised when we get that rematch.
Hey, Polo,
you
got a cheap ass mic.
Fucking Jay, man. Listen, bro. Listen. This the main shit. Listen, this is the main shit. Before I wrap it up, because I'm getting sleepy. My issue, they actually have a couple of fights that I feel are interesting enough. Like, if Plant beats Darrell, right? Let's say Plant beats Darrell. I could go for Plant versus Morrell. I could go for that. That's why, because Morrell don't have a lot of fights. You see what I mean? He don't have a lot of fights, and he hasn't fought someone as good as Plant. So I'm like, I could go for that, but y'all not gonna make that. And y'all said y'all lied. Y'all said y'all was going to do Morrell versus Benavidez in the fall. That's not going on. What the fuck do y'all have going on?
We was in the space, Julius. I told you he was a lie. I told you, nah, bro, he be capping. I told you, I was like,
they don't have but the overall point is that they don't have nothing going. Like, bro, y'all don't have nothing going on, like, at all. Like, no, it ain't.
Samsung doesn't call the shots. He can just, he'll say something, but the final say he said it. It's showtime. It's PBC. They have so we.
But
can
you know what Stefan Espinoza said? Stefan Espinoza said that no, we don't tell them who to fight. Remember, he said that on Twitter, bro. That the network doesn't decide who fights. Bullshit. Of course, the network decides who fights because the network is the one that pays. How you sound saying that dumb shit? It's just they don't have nothing, bro. There are still fights that are on the schedule that I'm looking forward to. None of them are PBC shows.
Speaking of fights, when is Nikita Zoo fighting again?
He already fought, bro. He fought this weekend.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they had like a whole festival in Australia. 18 hours of boxing or some crazy shit, and he fought. He beat the shit out of the guy.
I missed it. So
you got to look at it. But yeah, because I there was no broadcaster in America, obviously, for the fight, but I caught it on Instagram that he did fight. I just didn't get to see the fight because there was no broadcast, and it was like, well, I ain't gonna be out here scrambling for a link. It's too fucking early in the morning. But he fought, bro. He beat the shit out of another guy. He fucking a lot of people up, man. I like him. He fucking a lot of people up. I like him. I told you he looked like Tom Holland. He looked like a mix of Tom Holland and Dexter, the serial killer on HBO. Yeah. He looked like that.
How about the fight on Saturday?
He's a killer.
The big fight on Saturday.
He's a killer, bro.
But Jules, you mentioned Lara got another. You got another fight.
Who?
Bronco Lara, Mauricio Lara.
Yeah, he does have a fight. It's going down to Mexico.
Nice. Okay, so they got him another.
In Mexico. Yeah, they got him another fight.
Well, Julian, are you watching that Australian card? Are you watching that Australian card? It's in the morning, but man, that shit's gonna be fire.
Which one?
On the zone, they got Jarvis versus Pyro. The Pyro guy won.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm watching that. Yeah, bro. Like that whole Saturday, motherfuckers is going. It's fights all day, bro.
I'm loving that.
In the morning.
Any quick thoughts on the big women's fights?
What time in the morning?
Listen, man, I'm biased. Alicia Baumgartner, and that's what I'm going to say about that. When it comes to Clarissa Shields and Savannah, who mic is that? When it comes to Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall, I'm going to wait till Friday to do the prediction. I'm going to wait just in case, because you see how it was last time, right? Day of the weigh-in, they canceled the fight. So I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to do it then. But as far as Alicia and Michaela, I got Alicia.
When do those fights kick off overseas?
3 o'clock. Well, over here, it'll be 3 o'clock when that card starts.
When is the good? When we get to like the co-main event, main event?
5.
Thank you.
The Australia card will be 3. The Australia card would be like at 3 in the morning Pacific time. So if you're in California, like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
No, they said that Australian card was going to be prime time United States.
No,
prime time.
No, not the Brock Jarvis versus Pyro card.
Okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about the Camboso fight. My bad.
Wait a minute. Yeah, y'all heard that Sonny Edwards about to fight this fucking dude, bro. The fucking dude, bro. His mandatory. Fucking Polo, the dude that Sonny Edwards is about to fight, bro. The fucking dude, Polo.
Alvarado, that's November 12th, though.
I'm just saying, B, like, that's a fight. That's a fight. Like,
he might have to work for that one.
I'm being like, not for nothing. Alvarado, low key, is tougher than Martinez.
Oh shit.
No, he only lost to Ioka and another dude whose name I'm forgetting.
I tell y'all, B, like that dude could fight and he hit hard.
He ever been stopped or just on points?
No, he never been stopped. Never been stopped.
Julius, I was thinking about a fight. If the PBC wasn't so adverse to taking risk, I think will be the moment to Jermall Charlo moving up, forcing a mandatory position against this Kazakh guy. How is he called? I forgot.
Oh, Yanni Beck.
I think Jermall beats him. What do you think?
Yes. Right now, yes. Right now, yes.
This
Right
is the
now.
moment.
Right now. Because he's still green. He hasn't really and we know the best time to get these guys is soon, like what he did with Lubin. Don't wait. Take him. Don't wait. Do it now.
Mhm.
He's green.
Exactly.
Do it now. You know what I mean? But if you wait, well, he's going to become more dangerous over time. And he has a great corner. He's got fucking Buddy McGirt. It's only going to get more difficult. But come
That's
on.
what I'm saying. The 10-10 all welterweight champ, Errol Spence, Bud. I'm a Bud fan to death. But like the longer you wait to fight Virgil Boots, the better these guys are going to get.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And Boots is like, I said it at the beginning of the year that I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going to happen with that kid, man, because nobody wants to. There's plenty of people that he should be able to fight, and he can't get Danny Garcia, can't get Keith Thurman. I'm hoping maybe we get Stanionis, but it's not looking that way. You know what I mean? And Virgil wants Stanionis at least, so I hope that happens for him. I hope they order that, because I'm like, yo, this division, the worst divisions in boxing is middleweight and welterweight. They the absolute worst. You don't get shit, bro. You don't get nothing.
Don't miss.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, don't their major title holders, aren't they on the PBC, welterweight and middleweight?
Listen, bro. Here's pregnant Eubank.
Right? Jules, you know when you was playing Senior's monologue and you was just looking into the camera, all I heard through my head was I am the League of Shadows. I'm here to fulfill
Hey,
destiny.
Hey, y'all got Conor Ben fucked up. Hey, Conor Ben is still my guy though, man. That dude is still. I'm still want to see.
Bro, I did a whole monologue about how I don't care about his pets, bro. I don't care about that shit. This time in 3 months, I need Conor Ben back in the ring, O2 Arena, find somebody. I don't give a shit about the pets, bro. I really don't. I don't care about that shit. Conroy, that's my man Conroy. On that note, ladies and germs, I'm off this. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, everybody.
Always a pleasure.
Jules, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Al Haymon. Thanks, Jules.